Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Paramount City Council meeting of January 24, 2023, our first meeting of the new year. Before we begin tonight's meeting, let's take a moment of silence to honor the victims of the recent mass shootings in Monterey Park and Half Moon Bay. Thank you. Our thoughts and prayers are with all those who were affected. Tonight, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Lucy Martinez of Girl Scouts Troop 1613. And the prayer will be given by Pastor Grady Jones from the New Commandment Missionary Baptist Church. Please stand for the pledge and remain standing for the prayer.
Why is it doing that?
Good evening. My name is Luz Martinez, Junior Girl Scout from Troop 1613. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please have a seat. Here you go, Pastor.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, and make us come before your presence. We thank this for another day. We praise you, Father God, for what you've done in all our lives. As we've come to this point in our lives, you've been right there every step of the way. We ask you to bless this council, Father God, and everything this council stands for, this city, Father God. We pray that continue to grow and protect this city from hurt, harm, and danger. As mentioned, we pray for the people of Monterey Bay and Moon Bay, Father. Monterey and Moon Bay. I touch them in a special way. We cannot imagine what those families are going through, but you know. And there's another shooting, Father God. There's so much chaos in our world today. We ask you to step in and take care of your people, bless your people all over the world, and bring this violence to an end. We know you can do it, Father, but it's one wave of your hand, you can change this whole society and this whole world. So please, Father God, in the name of Jesus, bless those who are less fortunate than we are. Bring peace where peace is needed. Comfort those who are less fortunate again. Let this country know that you're still in control. Let the world know you're still in control. Pray for our nation leaders, and always for our military people where they might be. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Thank you. Heidi, may I have roll call of council members, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Delgadillo.
Present.
Councilmember Lemons.
Here.
Councilmember Olmos.
Here.
Vice Mayor Aguayo.
Here.
Mayor Quer Stallings.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. We'll begin tonight's meeting with some special presentations. Will my colleagues please join me at the podium? Well, good evening, everyone. And Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Thanks for being here tonight as we recognize some great community members. To start, would Lucy Martinez please come back up? Lucy led us in the Pledge of Allegiance representing Girl Scout Troop 1613. This month is the start of Girl Scout cookie sales. It's a delicious way to support our local troop and the benefits they offer our girls. So let's take a photo, girls. Would Jason Shannon Pittman please come up? I am pleased to present this month's Mayor's Award of Excellence to the Pittmans. They represent all of the kind, decent, loving people in our community who do so much good for others while remaining under the radar. They help those in need without any desire to be recognized. But tonight, we are so happy to acknowledge them. A sample of the things they do for Paramount includes coordinating the annual Christmas toy drive at New Commandment Missionary Baptist Church. For Thanksgiving, they have provided full meals for 50 to 75 families in need over the last 3 years. They get their daughters involved too by making hygiene bags to hand out. Shannon says that people, including herself, waste money on time on things that don't matter all the time. So why not put some of that money and time into helping someone who might really need it? She adds that offering compassion and lending a hand may be exactly what a person needs to make it through another day. These are words to live by. With their modesty and commitment to others, Shannon and Jason are the kind of folks who quietly make a community strong, like Paramount. Their actions can be an inspiration to those around them. We are so glad they live in Paramount and are so deserving of the Mayor's Award of Excellence. Would you like to say a few words? Would you like to say a few words, please?
Just wanted to say thank you. Anyone that knows us know we do things, out of the kindness of our heart, with no desire to be, like you said, recognized at all. So, it's just, just a big honor. And like I said, we just want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to my family and friends that came out to support us today. And it's just a big award for us.
Thank you. We do not do this for no recognition at all. You never know what people are going through. And you should always look out for someone else. Because you never know. You might go through with your friends, your family, and you just want someone to be able to help. And it could be something small. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just saying hi to somebody or giving them $1, a water, anything. And thank you so much for my family and my friends that came out. And thank you for City of Paramount. And thank you for this honor. We appreciate it. Thank you.
And also to our pastor, Pastor Grady Jones, appreciate you
Thank you, Pastor.
for recognizing us as well.
Let's take a picture.
Should we go up? If you want, we can go up, yeah. You to make it. Okay. Can we have both parents right in the middle and have a kid on either side? Well, I don't know if this one's like going. She may not like it, so we're gonna leave it right where you are because you'll get mad at me. Come on, close. There we go.
And for those of you that are in the audience that didn't get to take a picture, we do have a Smug Mug account. If you go to our website, you can download the photos that we took tonight.
Paramount sports teams. The boys water polo team had a fantastic year, making it all the way to CIF playoff semifinals. This was the first time the team has gone to the postseason. They also took first place at the Saddleback tournament. Joshua made the all-league most valuable player, Goldie. Joshua Bereja and Juan Perez made first team all-league. This team joins the many fine Pirate athletes over the decades. We applaud their achievements and celebrate their teamwork. Would any of you boys please like to come up? I need one of you to
Can we get
come.
to a couple over here?
Yeah, I need one of you to come and say a few words, please.
I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. Just throw me up here, that's fine. Yeah, it was a wonderful season. I will say it was not easy. Last year we were without a pool for like the entire season. We had to keep transporting back from Downey and Warren, so that was really difficult. And our hopes really, like our morale was really crushed, you know, coming into this new season. And we still made it to CIF semifinals. We brought back second place in league, which is something we've never done before. So I really want to thank our support system of family and friends and fans, because without you guys, like, none of this would have been possible. Like, I'm standing up here and I'm looking at these boys, and I couldn't be more proud of them. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional, but yeah, like, I'm really proud of them, and man, like, I'm gonna miss it. So I wish nothing but the best for this team, and I know that they're in good hands. So yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Back up here.
They're really tall. They want us to go. They want They're all tall. So maybe we can
These two are going to be on either shoulder of his. Let's get you over here. I can see. There you go. Perfect.
Just so you know, this was our all-league MVP goalie, Joshua Calderon. So yay. And these two seniors were first-team all-league as well. So yay.
I can't see her.
You can't see me.
Yeah.
Oh, the coach?
Yeah.
Okay, squeeze in. Can I see all the council members?
No, Brenda's getting blocked, and so is Becky and Annette.
Okay, you guys gotta stop being tall. Okay, so what? We can try that. I'll do that.
Oh, but their certificate. We could just maybe separate.
It's fine.
Watch your life. Wait, what did we ask? There you go, like that.
Yeah.
See, maybe I should do this.
I'm okay. It's all yours.
All right, squeeze in a little bit more to this way.
You want that frame, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put that up there.
A little bit more to this way.
Boom. That way.
Yeah, the back row. Alrighty.
I'm gonna let Ken know you're taking this job.
Wait. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, one more. 1, 2, 3. All right, there you go.
Any other parents that want to come up?
You two there. Thank you.
sophomore, yeah.
Okay. Paramount is known for our holiday events. This past year, we had a huge crowds coming out to each one. Part of what makes the season so successful is the many volunteers who help out. We couldn't do it without them. Tonight, we celebrate their participation. If you're here from the clubs, companies, or organizations, please come up when I call your name. At the tree lighting from Paramount High School, we had the ASB and the Corsairs Club. We also had the employees from World Energy. On the Santa train, Paramount High School cheer and song entertained along the route. And members of the MUSA again filled thousands of bags with candy, canes, and apples. At Santa's Snowfest, we had a big turnout for the following Paramount groups: the SAB, Avid Club, the Corsairs, the Green Club, the Interact Club, the Key Winds Club, and the Leos Club. We thank you so much for your positive involvement in our city. Let's give them a big hand of applause.
Let's come on up and try it again. I think you guys can make it on the back this time. Okay, so you're right in the middle. Either side. Either side. And Adrian. Darn it.
Yeah, she's getting blocked again.
Okay.
Let me see.
Don't move her.
Scoot down a little bit more to the side, please. Thank you. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, and then another one. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We held our third holiday decorating contest in December. There were quite a few submissions, and the city thanks everyone who took part. The judging was difficult. The winners in each category received a lawn sign, a gift card to a local business, and recognition on the city's social media. Please come up when I call your name if you're here. The Cibaja family for best use of lights. The Garcia family for most original design. The Jimenez family for the best holiday scene. We appreciate your creativity. Thank you so much for making our city bright and festive. Anyone present? No. We'll continue. Would Nancy Pfeiffer please join us? Is Nancy here? Oh, there's Nancy. For decades, the city has been on a mission to be an eco-friendly, conservative energy and help with the environment. We have been recognized for our efforts in many ways. We won the LA County's Green Leadership Award. The nation's Arbor Day Foundation named us a Tree City USA. The League of California Cities has given us the Beacon Award numerous times. The South Coast Air Quality Management District gave us its Model Community Achievement Award. And now, for the second year in a row, we have earned the Gateway Cities Gold Energy Action Award. This award recognizes cities who participate in the Gateway Cities Energy Working Group throughout the year, and those who continually improve energy and strive for sustainability in their city. There are bronze, silver, and gold levels. Of the 27 gateway cities, Paramount is one of only 6 to reach the top gold level. I am proud. I am very proud that our city is seen as a leader in this important area. Nancy is the executive director of the Gateway Cities Council of Governments and will present the award and then show a short video. Would you like to say a few words, Nancy?
I would, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations to the City of Paramount. I was here last year because this city is a repeat gold winner 2 years in a row, and very, very proud and very excited to have our office right next door. The city's done a number of things, as the mayor mentioned, to earn this award. They've done a comprehensive energy analysis. They've completed a climate action plan, one of very few gateway cities to complete that. They've attended our energy working group meetings, and they've given city updates at those meetings several times through the year. They've started a new sustainability division in Public Works, and they've added electric vehicle charging stations right out here in the parking lot, which we see all the time. With that, I would like to go ahead and show the brief video.
Thank you.
The Gateway Cities Energy Action Awards recognizes cities for their actions to improve energy efficiency and sustainability, and we hope they also help motivate progress through some friendly competition. Introducing our 2022 Gold Tier Public Agencies. Paramount. The City of Paramount upgraded to LED lighting at the Paramount Park baseball field and gymnasium.
I am so proud of all the gateway cities making strides to become more energy efficient and more sustainable through their participation in the COGS Energy Working Group. Our subregion faces unique challenges in air quality, climate, and sustainability, and your work makes our subregion a cleaner and more efficient place for everyone. And never forget that the climate work you do locally has a global benefit. Congratulations to the 13 cities that have reached the bronze and silver levels this year. And I especially want to congratulate our 6 gold level cities: Bell Gardens, Long Beach, Maywood, Paramount, Pico Rivera, and Signal Hill. You've taken great strides this year to reach the highest level of energy efficiency and sustainability. I'm gratified to see the friendly competition that has doubled our number of gold level cities. To all our gold, silver, and bronze recipients, you have set the standard. Your work is greatly appreciated by the COG and the over 2 million residents we proudly serve. Congratulations to all our winners and participants, and thank you for your dedication to energy action.
Harriet, right over. Congratulations.
Congratulations to my and our city of Paramount. Okay, would Kanali please join us? Is she here? Paramount has a long history of responsibility, fiscal management, and reporting. One of our most important jobs is to be conservative and careful with our public money. Our budgets are balanced, and we keep a large reserve of funds to protect our operations. As part of this process, the Finance Department produces an annual comprehensive financial report. This document is always easy to understand and completely transparent about our finances. The Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada has given Paramount its Award of Excellence in Financial Reporting for more than 3 decades. This is the highest form of recognition a government can achieve for financial reporting. Kilani, from our audit firm, here is to present the award. Would you like to speak, please?
Hi, good afternoon. Good evening. Sorry, I started driving here at 4, so. My name is Kinali Sukasum, and I'm a partner with Eide Bailey. It is with great pleasure that I present to the City of Paramount the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Award for Financial Excellence in Financial Reporting for the fiscal year 2021 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. In order to receive this prestigious award, the city must go above and beyond the GASB, and that's the Governmental Accounting Standards Board's requirement, and also include additional items per the GFOA award, which includes the introductory section and the statistical section. As the mayor said, this is the 39th consecutive year that the city has received this prestigious award, and I would like to thank the audit team members and also the city finance members for their cooperation in that process. And again, congratulations to the City of Paramount. Thank you.
Anybody from finance?
Anybody in finance?
Any staff members from
Kim.
finance?
Kim, would you please come up with us? Thank you.
Oh, that's pretty.
Can I have everybody, we're gonna go back up on the dice.
You can hold the award.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, one more. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you.
Thank you also to our finance staff. We appreciate your work very much. Well, that's the end of tonight's presentation. Thank you to everyone for being here and for your work to make Paramount strong and a vibrant city. Thank you. We'll take a 10-minute break. Thank you. On
Have to call it back to order.
to the business portion of the agenda. Mr. City Manager, are there any public comment updates from the last city council meeting, sir?
Hi, Madam Mayor. I think we're back in. Are the mics on? Can you guys hear this?
No.
No?
Not on.
Okay.
Test, no.
Yeah, we're not up.
Test. There, I hear somebody's. Off and back on. I see. Test.
Test,
Testing.
test. No.
Okay.
Are they on? Sounds like it.
Test. No. Hello. No.
Gonna fall off of this chair.
Can you hear me out there?
Can you hear me? You can hear?
Check.
I don't really hear. I hear you.
Check. Can you hear that back there? Okay, great. We're on. Did you want to repeat that, Mayor? Go ahead.
Yes, okay. Next, we'll move on to
There we go.
the business portion of the agenda. Mr. City Manager, are there any public comment updates from the last city council meeting, sir?
No, ma'am. We don't have any city council public comment updates from the last meeting, but I did want to take this opportunity to say a few words about air quality. And that's because recently there have been some comments in the community about this, specifically that there have been some high readings on air monitors near a school, and also that there are issues caused by some of the metal-related businesses in town. First, in terms of background, we have two sets of air monitors in town that monitor for levels of hexavalent chromium in the air, as you know. The city's air monitors, and then the monitors operated by a nonprofit environmental group that started up last year. The readings that are taken from our set of monitors have always been posted on the city's environmental website at ParamountEnvironment.org. And I've printed out the latest sheet here off of that webpage. Now, the readings that are taken by the nonprofit environmental group are posted on their website at ceh.org, and I've printed out those as well. The readings on our website show no spikes near any of the schools, and similarly, the readings for the nonprofit environmental group monitors did not show any spikes. And furthermore, the monitors for the nonprofit environmental groups are not located near any schools. So we contacted the nonprofit environmental group and asked them if there were any spikes near schools just to confirm this, and they told us that there weren't readings anywhere near that high. So as part of our own ongoing efforts to monitor for hex chrome and keep our community safe, we provide as you know, this city council with and the public with updates on the readings twice per year. That latest update was done just 2 months ago by our consultant, Dr. Kenneth Underwood of T&B Systems. And as you may recall, last month in December, we sought your approval and you approved of the purchase of 5 new monitors to replace our old ones, which is costing close to $40,000. And as you may recall, last year we applied for and received a grant from the EPA for over $300,000 to pay for our monitoring costs. Now, to inform the public about our ongoing efforts, we produce public information documents like the Around Town, which I have here, which just went out last week. We have an e-blast, social media, we have a story on our environmental website, etc. So we are very transparent with everything, and we keep the community informed. Now, in regards to issues with metal-related businesses in town, that we have not heard of any. As I just mentioned, the hex chrome air readings have showed very low emissions, and all of the metal-related businesses in town have complied with our requirement to apply and get approval for administrative action permits. Now, this involves submitting an application, listing the nature of their business, the equipment they use that requires an air quality permit from the AQMD, a site plan of their plant, an inspection of their facility by multi-agencies, and also community workshop/open house where residents can interact with them to learn more about what they produce. So again, we have not heard of any issues, and the community's kind of communication, that we've had with these business in town has been very positive. We also encourage residents to contact the AQMD's hotline at 1-800-CUT-SMOG if they ever smell odors emanating from any of these businesses, and they can always contact our planning department at area code 562-220 2036. And lastly, we do take these matters very seriously, and we will investigate any complaints that we get to the fullest extent possible with our regulatory partners. And that concludes the comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I comment?
Yes.
And you may have said it, John, and I might have missed it, but I just want to reiterate too that the city has a dedicated website, ParamountEnvironment.org, to the air quality issue. So you're going to find on there the history of air quality here. You're going to find out what's proactively happening with air quality. You're going to get the regular monitor reading. There's also a fact check page. So if you hear something in the community that surprises you in a negative way, please, before you get upset, check the facts on the page and make sure that the information that you're getting is correct. It's very concerning that this latest information was given out at a school board meeting when that, hopefully that person who's that governing body would take, the time to get the facts straight, because as an elected official, that can be very alarming to the community. I would also like to say that we're reaching out through direct mail and through social media and our dedicated website, but hopefully if the community is listening to this meeting on YouTube and there's another resource that we can use to get that information to you that we're not currently using, please reach out to us and let us know, because the news right now is very positive. We want to move things in a positive direction. We want to know about your concerns. We want to know if there's more that we can address and be proactive about. So if there's another way to have a conversation with you, reach out to us and let us know. We're happy to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Now is the time that members of the public may comment on items that are not on the agenda. John, are there any speaker cards this evening, sir?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we do have 3 in-person speaker cards and 1 written public comment, so we'll handle the 3 in-person ones, and I have to note one of the in-person ones is for item number 17. So we'll get to that one, Ms. Del Sesto. We will get to your comment when we get to that particular item on the agenda. Thank you. So our first in-person public comment, Madam Mayor, is from Mr. Eric C. Shen. He's the Executive Director for Eco Rapid Transit, and you all have a bio from Mr. Shen in front of you. Hi, Eric.
Good evening. Let's do a sound check. Good. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council, and also Mr. Moreno, City Manager. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to be here, introduce myself as the new Executive Director of the Eco Rapid Transit, which is a joint powers authority dedicated, created more than 20 years ago to promote, to advocate environmentally friendly and efficient light rail system or public transit system that would connect Hollywood Burbank Airport through downtown Los Angeles, and then from downtown Los Angeles through the southeast portion of LA County. Paramount has been a very, very solid and very important partner. City of Paramount is a member city of our Joint Powers Authority. In addition, Eco Rapid Transit, our headquarters is right next door. We co-locate with Gateway City Council of Government. So for us, City of Paramount in particular is a special place for us. This is our route. So as a new executive director, it is my pleasure to let you know that we want to be great neighbor to you. At the same time, we lean on you and continue to elaborate on the partnership so that as the West Santa Ana branch project that is being developed by Los Angeles Metro, we will be your advocacy, we'll be your strongest supporter to ensure cities along this corridor, your interests are coordinated and also articulated so that Metro and other regional partners, as they develop the project, our communities will maximize its benefit as the project is completed. So with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have, and I look forward to many years of partnership with the city of Paramount.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. Do my colleagues have any questions? No. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Our next in-person speaker card, Madam Mayor, is Mr. Alejandro Yanes. Mr. Yanes?
Good afternoon. No stranger to this meeting. So to follow up on an answer I was given by the Assistant City Manager, I can't pronounce her name, but from that rules of decorum, you answered that members of the public addressing City Council are prohibited from requesting city resources or using their own resources such as flash drives or other forms of electronic media to exhibit PowerPoint presentations during public comments or at public hearings. That was your response to my request to want to use these monitors to give my rebuttal to the survey that was given by a public Parks and Recreation survey done in March of 2021. In that survey, which was very discriminating, I'm personally insulted by your findings. In your survey, you stated that people that were involved in handball were drug dealers and gang members. And I've lived here 50 years. I've never been such. I've never been a drug dealer or a gang member. Yet the city council was given this survey to use to say that's what we are. In fact, that's an insult again, you know? It's insulting to us that you lock our restrooms back like if it was in like segregation days, right? That's what they used to do. They used to lock the restrooms, and then that would cause the African American to get charged for a public nuisance, therefore creating a criminal record, right? And by so on, that was the history that was created. And that's what this city did. And that's what's got me so upset, you know? You wouldn't be like to be called a gang member, a drug dealer, or a racist, or a discriminating piece of dung crap, right? It's insulting. And how are you gonna think that I'm gonna come to the city for 50 years and you've been ignoring me? You've been ignoring my request at city councils. When I approach you at mayor meetings, you ignore me. You ignore my personal request. I'd like to know the answer to what is the status of our handball courts? It's been 12 years now. You promised me, you spent $54,000 of the city money to get them going. What's the solution? Where are we at with that? You got a grant from Mr. Rendon, $1.5 million. You spent it all on the pool, and we've been the only one coming to these meetings year after year requesting our handball courts. All these shootings that go on in this country, unfortunately, right? There's a lot of shootings going on. It's all over the news, right? Not one has ever happened at a handball court. It's happened at churches, it's happened at schools, it's happened at recitals. It's never happened at a handball court. Why? Because we were vilified for something that was never true. You never took the time to find out what was in or what was going on in the handball courts. You took it for granted from a racist, discriminating survey, and that's what was taken, and that's what you believed in. And I'm appalled by it. Shame on you.
Yes, John.
Yeah, that's the last of the speakers' comments in person. We do have an emailed speakers card, and
I do have a question.
Oh, sure.
I do too.
I recall seeing the survey. I don't recall a question that identified anybody as gangsters or drug addicts. That might have been somebody's response to the survey, but was that a survey question?
It was not a survey question, but it was responses that we received.
It was a
from
response to the survey, which the public gave us, and we have no control over. We didn't approach people and say, do you want, drug addict gangsters playing handball on our courts? That wasn't a survey question, right? Because I would totally be appalled by that too, and I don't recall seeing that in the reports.
That's correct, Councilmember Lemons. That was not
I just
how
wanted
any
to
question was
clarify
phrased.
that. And then just for the record, I think it's been, if you have the question that states that, yes, please hand it over to staff so they can read it to me. A question that we asked that said that, not a response from the public. A question in the survey, Mr. Yanez, because one of the things that happens is facts are very often misstated and in this situation. And when you talk about answers, I know that personally I met with you for 2 straight years and gave you every possible answer that came up and what was happening. And unfortunately, I know that you weren't satisfied with those answers, and that kind of caused the break on us being able to work together. But at any time, an update is certainly possible. I think you know the money was spent, grants continue to be applied for, and the community's will about where those funds spent first come as a result of surveys, and what people respond to us is something that we can't control. So I appreciate you coming here and expressing yourself, but it's also a fact that you don't state true facts. Like I said, pass it over. I'll
And
be
actually,
happy to read it.
thank you, Councilmember Lemons. And actually, I want to add to that a little bit too. I just want the residents to understand too that, you know what, we do have a handball courts located at Roosevelt School where we opened them up for the community to test it out to see how many residents would want to come and play handball. We did it for about 2 months. I went there myself to go view to see if people would want to come play. We left it open for the residents. So again, residents, Roosevelt Park had 2. We tried the pilot program. Again, if you want to play handball, I think you want to go anywhere to play it in your city, right? And if it's right in your back door, let's do it. So, Mr. I just wanted to confirm and let the residents know that we did try it for the community.
It exists.
Yep.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor. The
Yes.
Public comment is over on this
Yes.
subject.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Move on.
Okay. Next,
We
we'll
do-
move.
We do have a written public comment, and I'll turn that over now to our city clerk, Ms. Heidi Luce, to read the comment.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. The comment is from Christina Berkeley, the Executive Director of Kingdom Causes Bellflower. Kingdom Causes Bellflower is partnering with the city to update Paramount's 5-year plan to address homelessness and housing insecurity. We are holding a community listening meeting next Wednesday, February 1st at 6 p.m. at Paramount Park to get your feedback. Please join us and be ready to share your ideas and help us find solutions. For more information, contact Kingdom Causes Bellflower at 562-804-2189. That concludes the comment, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay.
And no more comments, Madam.
Yes, sir.
There are no more comments.
No more comments. Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move on to the consent calendar. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Heidi.
Councilmember Delgadillo?
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons? Yes. Councilmember Olmos?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo?
Yes.
Mayor Claire Stallings?
Yes. Now we'll move on. Our first item of new business is the city's annual comprehensive finance report. John, may we have the report, please, sir?
Absolutely, Madam Mayor. Fiscal year 2022 came to an end on June 30th, 2022, and we started fiscal year 2023 the following day. However, the independent audit of our books from fiscal year 2022 began shortly after this and went on for the next 3 to 5 months. Independent audits are required by state law and are critical to ensuring that the public's money is safe and accounted for. So that's what we're presenting to you here tonight. We will start off with a brief overview of our fiscal year 2022 financial standing from our finance director, Ms. Kim Tsao, and then a brief review of the auditing procedures and results of the audit firm from our independent auditor, Eid Bailey. And the bottom line is the city ended the fiscal year 2022 in great financial shape, and our auditors concluded that everything we did was according to law and accounting standards. So with that, I will turn it over to our finance director, Ms. Kim Tsao, who will handle the item. Kim?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. The financial audit for the fiscal year 21-22 was performed by our auditors from the firm of Eid Bailey. Eid Bailey also assisted in the preparation of the annual comprehensive financial report, which we also refer to using the acronym ACFR, or just calling it ACFR, or the annual report for short. This published annual report has been posted on the city's website for the public to view. There is a lot of information in this annual report. What I have listed here is an overview of what is inside the report without going into details. The 2 items highlighted in blue we will go over tonight. In the annual report, there are the 3 main sections: the introductory section, the financial section, and then the statistical section. The financial section is the meat of the report. It begins with the auditor's report, which Kanali will present shortly. Then there is the management discussion and analysis. also known as the MD&A. If you want to get a big picture of the financial report, it would be found in the MD&A. The MD&A contains management's commentary on the financial statements, highlights, compliance with laws and regulations, and any challenges the city is facing or goals for the future. Next are the basic financial statements, which contain a lot of numbers. We have financial statements for 27 governmental funds, 1 water fund, 1 internal service fund, which is called the Equipment Replacement Fund, that services other departments internally, and then the Fiduciary Fund, which includes the Successor Agency and Custodial Fund. The General Fund is the largest fund, which I will go over in the next 2 slides. Next is the notes to the basic financial statements, which provide additional detailed information and disclosures about the financial statements. Lastly, the statistical section provides a historical 10-year trend of various financial and demographic data. On the next 2 slides, I will present the financial numbers for the general fund, which is the largest fund, as mentioned earlier. This is a summary of the net change in fund balance. Found on page 21 of the ACFR, it is called the Statement of Revenues, Expenditures, and Changes in Fund Balance, which is a governmental accounting term for what we typically would refer to as the income statement. In this report, it shows that the city began the fiscal year with a beginning fund balance of $23.4 million on July 1, 2021. Then during the fiscal year, we brought in revenues of $41.2 million. Expenditures and transfers out totaled $34.8 million. So as you can see, total revenues exceeded total expenditures and transfers out by $6.4 million, which increased our fund balance to $29.8 million as of June 30, 2022. In addition to the income statement, or the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, the other side of the equation is called the balance sheet. The balance sheet could be found on page 17 of the ACFR. The balance sheet presents the financial position of the city at a point in time. Hence, we will refer to the ACFR ending date using the term as of June 30, 2022. As of June 30, 2022, the city's asset totaled $33.9 million. 27 million of that amount is cash and investments. Liabilities totaled $4.1 million, which comprised mainly of $4 million of invoices that were paid right after the close of the fiscal year. As you can see, our assets exceeded our liabilities by $29.8 million, which we call the fund balance, which is a governmental term for equity. As you can see in this statement, we only show a liability of $4.1 million. So you're not seeing the long-term outlook of the city's financial position. For example, you don't see liabilities of future pension liabilities. To see a long-term financial outlook, we would refer to the statement of position on page 15 of the report. Actually, I wanted to note that of the $29.8 million, we are required by GASB Statement 54 to classify the fund balance based on the extent to which the city is bound to the constraints imposed on the use of this resource. So of the 29.8 million, 420,000 are non-spendable amounts, which include prepaid invoices and land held for resale. As an example, similar to the equity you have on your house, you cannot spend the equity until you sell your house and realize the profit. So non-spendable items are not in a form that we could spend. For the restricted amounts, we do not have any. This mainly applies to grant funds. We do not have any amounts under committed. A committed fund balance is any amount intended for a specific use that is determined by a formal action of the City Council. For the assigned fund balance, it totals 10.2 million. An assigned fund balance is any amount intended for specific use that is determined by management. So in this 10.2 million, we have about 6.3 million reserved for capital improvement projects and 2.5 million for payment towards pension liability. Finally, we have 19.1 million in residual amounts that is spendable but does not fall into other category. Our budget policy adopted in the fiscal year 22-23 budget resolution states that the city will maintain a minimum of 13 million in the general fund unassigned fund balance, or 35% of the total general fund operating budget, whichever is greater. So in this case, we will maintain the greater of the two amounts, which is 13 million, and the main purpose is to reserve this amount for our rainy day fund. Our goal in the next budget year is to increase our rainy day reserves. So again, we believe that our current financial report continues to meet the high standards for financial reporting, and therefore we have submitted it once again for another GFOA award. At this time, I will turn the time over to Kanali Sukasam for a report of the audit.
Did I just mess that up? Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me participate in this meeting. Again, my name is Kanali Sukasam, and I'm a partner with Eide Bailly. So we've completed our audit for the fiscal year 2022, and we've issued an unmodified opinion on the city's financial statements, which is the highest level of assurance on the city's financial statements. And for the next couple of slides, I just wanted to go over the scope of our audit and what our responsibilities were. So as part of our financial statement audit, we considered the city's internal control over financial reporting, but we did not design the procedures to provide absolute assurance. We don't have enough time to provide absolute assurance. We're not auditing every single number. What we're doing is we're sampling and making sure that the city's controls are operating as stated. We perform tests of compliance with laws, regulations, contracts, and other items that could have a direct and material effect on the city's financial statements. In addition, since the city reports required supplementary information, we also compared the information contained in those amounts to make sure that they were consistent with the amounts that were presented in the city's basic financial statements. So the city's significant accounting policies used are disclosed in Note 1 to the financial statements. There is one new accounting pronouncement in the current year, and that's GASB statement number 87, also known as leases. So prior to the implementation of this accounting pronouncements, there's two categories of how you presented leases. It either was presented as an operating lease or a capital lease, With the implementation of GASB 87, those categories went away, and now a lease is a lease. As far as the city's financial reporting, there was no restatement for the implementation of 87 because all of those operations occurred in the current year. Management's estimates were used to prepare the financial statements. Two estimates that we found to be particularly sensitive related to the city's disclosure of their net pension liability and the city's net OPEB liability and the related inflows and outflows. So these financial statement items were sensitive because they are significant and because they are they're significant, but then they're also sensitive to the underlying assumptions used to prepare those actuarial reports. For example, in the city's financial statements, if you look in Note 4 to the financial statements, we've identified that a 1% swing in the discount rate for the OPEB liability or for the pension liability has a significant effect on the city's financial statements. I'm also happy to report that we had no corrected or uncorrected misstatements during the course of the audit. We had no difficulties that were encountered during the course of the audit or any disagreements with management. Lastly, the bullet on the management's consultations with other independent auditors, we would have to disclose to you if we entered into any items in which we didn't have the expertise in-house to test those arrangements. I'm happy to report that there were no transactions that the city entered into that were outside of our wheelhouse. This slide is just a really quick snippet, and I'm not going to go through the GASB in detail, but these are the two new accounting pronouncements that may have an impact to your financial statements in the upcoming year. Next year is dealing with GASB number 96, and that's for subscription-based information technology arrangement. So it's the leases statement, but now it's talking about software, and GASB 101 is going through and identifying the treatment for compensated absences. So the city is still undergoing the evaluation for these two statements, and they may have an impact to your financial statements in the upcoming years. And with that, that concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to take any questions if you have any.
My colleagues have any questions or comments?
No.
So this is a received and filed, John? Okay. Continue. Next is an update from Paramount Women's Club. John, will you please introduce the presenter?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Our next item is a special one. The Women's Club is here to let us know. The Women's Club is here to let us know all of the good stuff. I'll start again, Madam Mayor. Our next item is a special one. The Women's Club is here to let us know all of the good stuff they've been doing for Paramount. We all know that the Women's Club has been a fixture in our community for many decades, and we're very proud to have them here tonight. So here with us is Ms. Lucy Hayes, president of the Paramount Women's Club. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Lucy. I just want to, excuse me, Lucy.
Yes.
I just want to apologize for that. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
I
Sorry
understand.
to our residents and guests that are sitting in. And I apologize in behalf of myself and our city council. We apologize.
Okay. I'll give you a brief history. On June 28th, 1927, a civic-minded lady named Hattie Flint called a meeting to organize a women's group that would serve the community. 16 ladies attended. This was the forming of the Clearwater Haynes Women's Club. In 1948, the name was changed to the Paramount Women's Club when the two cities merged. Over the years, 95 years, the club has been involved in many community improvement projects. We currently have 33 members and are always looking for new members. And that's a group when we were installed, the pictures when we were installed this year, the new officers. Today, the club continues to serve. These are many of our current projects, okay? So we do advocates for children. We have categories and we divide things up. So this year, our third annual toy drive took place on December 17th, 2022, with the help of the city of Paramount. We were able to give away toys to 300 needy children in the city of Paramount. Boys and girls range from ages infants to teenagers. We sorted and organized the toys for 2 days. The event was held from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. One of our next projects was the Halloween night. The city in Paramount invited us to man a booth on Halloween night. Our booth game was to toss the ping pong ball into a cup for candy. Many parents as well as children tried it. The evening was rewarding and fun. We will be happy to participate next year. We also donate yearly to Heifers International. This program teaches children and how to raise, animals and farm, and it helps provide the animals and the needed advice to continue to support themselves. We also donate to Operation Smile International, which provides surgeries to correct cleft palates for children. Another category is education. Our club provides 4 $500 scholarships to seniors of the Paramount Unified School District each year to continue their education. 2 scholarships are for academics, one is for art and music, and one is vocational. We present the scholarships at a luncheon in May. This year, we took part in the Back to School event held by the city of Paramount. We collected over $800 worth of school supplies from just our members. Children were able to pick the supplies they needed. We ran out of supplies quickly, so we'll know better how to plan next year. This year, we are starting our essay contest again this March, after missing it for a couple of years due to COVID. One Paramount elementary school is chosen. 4th and 5th graders are asked to write an essay without any assistance or correcting from anyone. The topic is always the woman I most admire for Women's History Month, and we give the winners prizes, and they're usually gift cards. For the environment, which is another one, we donate to Pennies for Pines yearly. This donated money buys seedlings to replant California's forests that have been destroyed by wildfires, and it's mostly the money we give goes to the San Bernardino area. Health and wellness. Yearly, we donate to Doctors Without Borders. Civic engagement and outreach. Christmas Buddy shoe boxes for veterans in the Long Beach VA hospital. Our club donated and collected supplies such as combs, t-shirts, toothbrushes, note cards, stamps, pens, and more to fill the buddy boxes. We then assembled the buddy boxes for 88 veterans in an afternoon. Each month we donate $100 for snacks and drinks to the Veterans Hospital to be used during movie nights and bingos. Each Christmas, each Christmas we choose 2 needy families to give a $100 gift card to. Walmart cards are usually given, that way the family may purchase food or other items needed to make a brighter Christmas. Also, we have one other thing that I forgot about and I wanted to include. We have a President's Project. In the past, one president supported the Ronald McDonald House in Long Beach. We had another president who supported the Lydia House in Long Beach. My project this year is the Cassie Lee Cat Rescue. And these projects are funded not by club money, but by donations of the members. So it's like a little different. Okay. And these are just a few of the projects. As I was sitting here, I was thinking of more things we do. So, and one other thing I didn't want to talk about, besides being the club and doing this, we are part of a district, we're part of a area, and then we're California, and then we're the whole United States, and there are women's clubs in other countries as well. And so we participate in events that the district presents. And yesterday we To raise funds, we did the luncheon at the Festival of Arts, Fine Arts, and we served 78 lunches. So, and then we make a profit, so that helps what we do. Okay, we meet every fourth Wednesday of the month for our business meetings, and the third Wednesday of the month, we have events. These events include 2 bingo fundraisers and various luncheons. Some are potluck and some are held at restaurants. Our most fun, activities would be our Valentine's and our Christmas luncheons, and they're always held at restaurants. While helping the community, we enjoy each other's company, we laugh, have fun, work together, and serve the community. Would you like to become a member? Thank you.
I had one question.
Yes.
What month do you have the essay contest?
It's in March.
In March?
In
okay.
March, sorry. Yeah, I have judged it before. It's really, I used to be a teacher, so it's really interesting to read their little essays when they haven't been, proofread or anything.
Thank
A lot
you.
of children admire their mother, so that's nice.
Thank you. Can I have, John?
It's your choice as chair.
She asked if she can speak. She didn't fill out.
She didn't fill out a speaker's card because she came in after.
Madam Mayor, you have that discretion if you want.
If you would like to address the city council, ma'am? Yes, you have 3 minutes. Yes, ma'am, you can come and address us.
You have to come up to the
You
mic
have to
so we
come
can
to the
hear you.
podium.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've been here several times before the city council, and I've brought up some ideas for the city of Paramount, and I'm like the gentleman that walked out. Nobody up here listens. I'm a resident of Paramount, and I've been here 40 years. Paramount is not inclusive. You don't listen to the residents. I sat here and listened to the financial report. I would like to have a copy of all the financial reports because I want to know where my money is going to as a resident of Paramount. And I want to know why we used to get a paper from Paramount. Now they put everything on the cell phones. A lot of people in Paramount don't have cell phones. A lot of people in Paramount can't even read. I want to know what happened to the newspaper that Paramount used to distribute to all of the residents.
That wasn't done by the city, it was done by the Chamber of Commerce, and it was paid for through advertising, and they could no longer get enough advertisers to pay for it.
Well, that answered that question. That's why the residents don't know anything that's going on in the city of Paramount. I don't, like the guy said about the court over here, I never heard of that. And I've been here 40 years. And like I said, a lot of people are not being included in a lot of things that's going on around Paramount.
The financial report you asked for.
Thank you. I will look it over. And I will get back to you because I want to know where my money is going, how it's being spent, and why. I don't know where you got all these awards to give these people today, but I feel that a lot of people in Paramount don't even know what's going on. You guys do not listen to the residents of Paramount. I have come up here before and asked for certain things. I've never heard nothing back. And another thing, when they have people run for the board members up here, we had new people listed on there. These new people had to go into their own pockets and pay for their finances to run for the city council member board. Yeah. And I didn't think that was fair because we need new blood, we need new innovative ideas for Paramount, and you guys are just not cutting the mustard.
Wow. Well,
I don't think you're cutting the mustard.
That's what your vote's for. Yeah.
I didn't vote, I actually voted for the people who I wanted on the city council, but A lot of people didn't have the money to put their advertisements out there. There was no media coverage that we even know who we were voting for. All I saw was a list of names. Half of those names I couldn't even pronounce because they weren't African American names. They were all Hispanic names. And I want to know why.
There were two
This is the
African-Americans on the ballot.
This is a Chinese New Year's, and we have a lot of Oriental people that live in this city. I don't see not one sign up where they're having anything for these people that are left out. There's no parades, no nothing for them at all. And like I said, I lived here 40 years, and I bought a home, paid taxes, and everything else in this city.
Yes, ma'am.
So not only does this cover all the financial report?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Because I want to know exactly
ma'am.
where my money is going.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
want every one of you guys to be accountable.
Yes, ma'am.
We are.
And I'm not going to say anything more, but Paramount is not an inclusive city. It's like an old boy city. And all y'all up here know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I don't see nobody up there sitting up there look like me. Look like me. And I feel offended by that because I'm not being represented in this city. And I've lived here for years. My daughter went to school here, graduated from high school, elementary, high school, junior high, and went to Chapman University and have a master's degree.
Yes, ma'am. Your time is up, ma'am. Thank you for your comments.
Comments?
We'll continue, John.
Yes, Madam Mayor. On to item number 16. As we all know, there's an affordable housing crisis in the state of California, and most notably in Southern California. Although there seems to be support at the federal and state governmental levels to fund local affordable housing projects, this support can be inconsistent, maybe too competitive a process for smaller cities. So in comes the Gateway City Council of Government, the COG, and they have a solution, and it's called an Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Our speaker tonight will provide detailed information on how this trust fund concept operates, but in a nutshell, as members of the Gateway City's COG, Paramount could have access to this fund for future affordable housing projects if this is approved. Other COG regions in the area, such as the San Gabriel Valley COG, they have developed this type of tool and have already put it to good use. So tonight, we're simply providing information to you about how this would work, and this will give you the opportunity to ask questions from the expert. Then if you like what you're hearing, we'll come back to you at the next council meeting with an approval of an agreement for us to join the Gateway City's Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So with us tonight is Mr. Adam Eleazon, as Affordable Housing Consultant for the Gateway City's Council of Governments. Hi, Adam.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. Joining with me tonight is Melanie Smith from Gateway City's Council of Governments. As introduced, I'm the Affordable Housing Consultant for Gateway City's Council of Governments. We began this journey almost a year ago with the idea in mind to bring additional funding into the Gateway Cities region to help cities to have that funding to help support affordable housing programs and projects. I have a very brief presentation that gives you a high-level summary of what a housing trust fund consists of. Get the next slide. And one more. There we go. Oh, sure. This slide just shows that in the past 8 years, the Gateway Cities region has been able to get funding for approximately 6,000 affordable housing units, 58 projects scattered throughout the Gateway Cities region. So that's quite a few affordable housing projects. A few months ago, we did a survey of cities within the Gateway Cities region to see what types of projects they have in the pipeline. These are projects that haven't started construction yet, that may need additional GAP subsidy funding to get them to the finish line. The survey resulted in approximately 4,000 affordable units that are currently being considered in the Gateway Cities region, or 38 projects. You see Paramount there has 2 projects indicated and 42 units. So a housing trust is a joint powers authority that provides funding to preserve and produce affordable housing. They are established by state, city, and county governments. The funding sources include local, state, and federal sources of money, in addition to private donations. Some of the benefits that a housing trust brings into the region and to cities is not only does it provide the gap funding to help build that housing, but what research has found is that many times that housing and those people that are benefiting from the housing are populations that already exist within the community. The trust helps to develop the type of housing that helps you meet your regional housing needs assessment that's found in your housing element and get those credits, while the trust provides all of the funding and the compliance requirements needed for getting those credits. I like to say there's strength in numbers and collaboration is key. That's what the state and federal government sources are looking for nowadays, is this economies of scale coming together in a unified approach to be able to get these additional dollars. And not only do we work in the collaborative manner to get the funding, but we're also talking as a trust, regional trust, we're also talking with the service providers, developers, and others that are in the trenches making those affordable housing projects work, so that we're sitting at the table representing specifically the Gateway Cities region. And over the past year, we've done quite a bit of work. We've looked at best practices of other housing trusts, such as San Gabriel, Orange County, and Ventura, and other places. We've looked at a housing needs assessment for the Gateway Cities region, where we looked at the RHNA numbers and other types of programs and projects that would be needed to help meet some of those requirements. You saw some of the results of this comparative proposed development and pipeline projects. We formed a steering committee that consisted of city managers, developers, financing entities, to help us with some of the policy choices that are needed to go in to form a new housing trust in the region. That steering committee helped us with the formation of a draft JPA and bylaws that we will include as part of an agenda staff report package if you want to consider joining and bringing that back to you at one of your future meetings. We looked at a funding strategy of what is available to bring this funding into the region, and we developed a strategic plan that would be the blueprint for the trust to go forward. We're right now working on a private financing and philanthropy strategic plan that will go into the full-blown strategic plan. The possible funding sources are for capital are listed here on this slide, but in summary, they include state, county, federal, and a variety of other sources that are very unique and nuanced for housing trusts to be able to utilize to bring the capital resources in. We've listed at the top that our goal this year is to raise $10 million to be able to have our first notice of funding for developers to apply for affordable housing projects and programs. Some of the key elements, we're not presenting tonight the entire draft JPA, but we figured that there were a couple of items that we knew city councils would be very interested in. And one is, what's the composition of the board? It is proposed that it's a 9-member board. 7 of the directors of the new trust would be elected officials representing the Gateway Cities subregion. And 2 directors would be experts in homelessness and housing policy. The 7 directors that are any elected official that represents a city that's part of the trust can be part of an application process that we'll be rolling out at the end of February and in March. And then those directors would be appointed by the Gateway Cities COG. The 2 directors that are experts in homelessness would be voted and approved by the city manager's steering committee. And And the administrative costs for the first year and a few months till June 30th of 2024 is already being funded by grant funding that the COG has secured. After that time period, the table you see on the screen shows that the basic minimum administrative funds would be paid for by a membership fee based on population. I should mention that on the 7 directors, there will be at least one director representing each of those population categories you see on the slide. To join the trust, we have a draft staff report that we'd love to share with staff to work with them to get that in front of you. We've got a draft JPA bylaws, and we have a PowerPoint presentation that's similar to this. Although tonight, since you're getting this precursor, you may not even need a more full-blown presentation. If you choose to join, that would be all necessary to join, but we get questions like, what does it take to withdraw? There is just a resolution from City Council. If you're not happy with being part of the trust, then you adopt a resolution to withdraw, and there's a 6-month notice period for that. This lists the various committees that we met with over the past several months, including the Trust Steering Committee, and you can see the membership there. The COG Homeless Technical Advisory Committee, the COG Committee on Homelessness, the Gateway City City Managers Group, and the Planning Directors Committee. Each of these meetings that we had, we went into a little bit more detail than we are tonight, and it received unanimous support for the formation of the trust. This shows you the timeline that we're dealing with. On January 4th, the Gateway Cities COG board approved moving forward with the formation of the trust. Of course, to be a JPA, it takes the individual member cities to join the trust. And so between January and March, we are going around to a variety of all the cities that want to meet with us and talk to us. We have so far 9 cities that we're meeting on the agenda to meet with them at their city council meetings to explain the trust and hopefully join the trust. In March, we will take applications for the trust board of directors, and at the April 5th COG board meeting, we'll appoint the trust directors, and in May, we will hold the first meeting of the trust board, where we have already an agenda that is growing, including some grant funding that we want to apply for at the state. So clearly, the message here tonight is collaboration and working together, and working with our legislators that are in the region to let them know the priority and to get the fair share of housing funding coming into the region from all the different sources that are available. Melanie and I are available to answer any questions that you have about the trust, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, sir. My colleagues have any comments or questions?
I have one, Madam Mayor, and I didn't see it, so forgive me if you said it, though. When it comes to deployment of funds between the COG cities, how will that be based? Will that be based on a priority of needs, or how would you deploy the funds between all the cities?
Good question. I should actually make a slide about this because we've had a couple of questions about that. So when we receive the funding for a particular program, and we're exploring a variety of programs, it's not just rental homelessness, for example. It was clear from the steering committee that they wanted a broad spectrum of affordable housing possibilities. So for example, at the state level, there's funding for down payment assistance program for first-time homebuyers, or there's an ADU loan program idea that we're talking about. Or of course, the common one that everybody is really focused on is multifamily tax credit rental projects. We'll take the tax credit rental project program. Other housing trusts, what they've done is when they have sufficient funding to do a notice of funding available for developers to apply for those funding, there's a scoring process that goes through a review committee before being recommended to the trust board. The scoring is very similar to a state tax credit, so developers are very familiar with the scoring process that it goes through, and so they're looking at, are they close to amenities that the residents need, community amenities, proximity to transportation, proximity to medical and grocery services. Those are the types of projects that need those scoring to get the state funding, and we mirror a lot of those same types of scoring for the review committee. We also look at timing. So I'm involved in other trusts, and in those trusts, they look at timing that's ready for breaking ground quicker than, say, a project that is 2 years out. If they're 1 year out, then we will, assuming they have the same points, we'll look at those projects that are ready to break ground sooner. So those are kind of, the last thing I'll mention about that is what's common and what we are proposing for this notice of funding is to ensure somewhat of an even distribution of funding throughout the region. So for example, one geographic area or one city won't get all of the funding. We want to make sure that north, central, south area of the region gets at least a chance to get that funding and not have it all go into one area.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. We'll move on, John.
Yes, we will, Madam Mayor.
Yeah. Our next item is the public hearing for the mixed-use commercial and senior assisted independent living facility at 16635 through 16683 Paramount Boulevard. John, may we have the report, please, sir?
Yes, Madam Mayor. This next item is what I would call a game changer when it comes to dramatically improving the look of the southern entrance to our city when you come in from Long Beach off the 91 freeway. This is a request to change the zone for 3 properties, including the Methodist Church on Paramount Boulevard between 70th and Harrison. Changing this zone will allow for the construction of a senior assisted living and independent living project. This project will be a mixed-use project. That is, there will be commercial use on the bottom level and housing use on top of that. And not only will this project transform this area of town, but it will also allow us to secure affordable housing units within the project, which will help us meet our RHNA numbers. In order to do this, we would like your approval to contribute funding to this project from our federal ARPA dollars and our low mod housing fund. Thus, if approved, there will be no impact to our general fund. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. John Carver, our planning director, who will walk you through the item. And just a reminder, Madam Mayor, we do have a speaker's card for this item.
Would you like to hear that now? Or should we?
No, let's hear the report.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John. Madam Mayor and council members. So this item is a request for a general plan amendment from Central Business District to mixed-use commercial and assisted independent living facility, and for a zone change from general commercial to PDPS. The general plan amendment and zone change will allow for the development of a senior assisted living facility with retail suites in an area for use by the Methodist Church. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this project to the City Council at its December meeting. In January of 2021, the City Council approved a general plan amendment and a zone change at the bar and auto use properties at 16675 to 16683 Paramount Boulevard. That project allowed for the construction of a smaller senior assisted independent living facility with retail suites on the ground floor. However, the applicant was unable to proceed with that project for various reasons. The project before the council this evening incorporates the closed bar and auto use properties into a larger project with the closed Methodist Church property. This aerial shows the original project at the corner of Paramount Boulevard and 70th Street. That's the bar and the auto use property. And here we have the larger project before you this evening, including the bar, the auto repair, and the Methodist Church properties. Here are photos of the bar, the auto use, and the church. The project before the council this evening will contain 100,000 square feet of floor area within 3 stories. The project will accommodate up to 115 residents. The Methodist Church will utilize a small chapel, classrooms, a community room, and kitchen on the ground floor. There will also be 2 retail suites on the bottom floor. All retail uses will require a conditional use permit from the Planning Commission. This will allow for an evaluation of the parking needs of a proposed use and is similar to what the council approved for the smaller senior project that will not be constructed. On the second floor, there will be 28 double occupancy units and 7 single occupancy units, along with an outdoor deck, dining hall, living room, library, activity room, gym, physical therapy area, and offices. The third floor will contain 12 double occupancy units and 7 independent living units, 6 of which will be affordable. There will also be 2 outdoor decks, a lounge, and offices on the third floor. The facility will have 20 employees. This is a look at the existing and proposed general plan land use designation. The site is currently part of the Central Business District, with the proposed designation to be mixed use and assisted senior living. This is a look at the existing Central Business District zoning and the proposed zoning of mixed use and assisted senior living facility. The architecture includes multi-level roof lines, the use of various types of building materials, including metal. The project also features various building setbacks and a tower feature on the south end of the building. A mural will be painted on the south tower feature to add more interest to the elevation, and the Development Review Board will review and approve the mural. An environmental assessment was conducted by Evacon Corporation, and the initial study examined areas such as air quality, energy, greenhouse gas emissions, water quality, noise, and transportation. The initial study found that there would not be a negative impact on the environment with the implementation of several mitigation measures. A mitigated negative declaration stating that the project will not have a negative impact on the environment is recommended. Mitigation measures include an archaeologist is required to be on site during grading in case an artifact is uncovered. A paleontologist is also required to evaluate anything that may be found. The site is required to be surveyed for asbestos and PCBs. Noise reduction devices are required for diesel construction vehicles and equipment. Rubber-tired equipment is required for grading. Noise barriers are required at the west, north, and south property lines during construction. And finally, a Native American monitor is required to be on site during grading in case any native artifacts are uncovered. The city will contribute $2 million for this project, with $300,000 coming from the Low to Moderate Income Housing Fund and $1.7 million from ARPA funds. In exchange, 6 units will be designated as affordable. The $300,000 from the Low to Moderate Income Housing Fund was originally designated for the smaller project, and given that the project will not be constructed, we recommend using the $300,000 for the larger project before you this evening. Last October, the council approved the ARPA expenditure plan, which included $1.7 million for this project. There is a current and growing need for assisted senior living, and this project will help to alleviate some of the need. The project will eliminate blight and provide a substantial visual improvement to a major entry into the city by removing 3 very dilapidated structures. Additionally, the project will eliminate many public safety issues, and the project will integrate well into the surrounding area. Finally, the project will help us meet our RHNA number, including affordable units. So it's recommended that the council appropriate an additional $300,000 from the available Low to Moderate Income Housing Fund and $1.7 million from available ARPA funds. It's recommended the council adopt the mitigated negative declaration and adopt resolution number 23001 approving general plan amendment number 22-1. And finally, it's recommended that the council introduce ordinance number 1167 and place it on the next regular agenda for adoption. And I'm happy to answer any questions. We also have in the audience Michael Zenon, who is the developer.
You want to go to the public comment now,
Yes.
Madam? Okay. Ms. Lisa Del Sesto from Cypress, California, wants to come up and talk about parking requirements.
Hello. First, I just wanted to say this is my first time speaking in front of this council, and I am very, very excited to see so many women. As a property owner of apartment buildings on Eureka Avenue in the immediate area of this proposed planned development, which includes 60 units of assisted living or senior housing, I am concerned that the parking needs proposed will not, in reality, cover the needs of the residents, staff, and those working in the commercial spaces, as well as the customers and clients of those businesses. Additional housing is, of course, paramount these days. I just want to be assured that true, ample parking is included as a requirement for this proposal to move forward. I am standing here before you today on behalf of my tenants who currently occupy the apartments, as well as those that will occupy the apartments in the future. Has the parking needs been considered during shift changes for the assisted living facility? What sort of businesses will occupy the commercial spaces, and what will be the needs of both those that work there as well as the customers and clients? Parking can already be an issue in the area, and I want to know that this City Council and the City of Paramount have truly considered not just the minimum requirements for parking, but the reality of how many spaces will need to be available. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Is there, Madam Mayor? I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, of
I
course.
remember having an in-depth discussion about parking when the project was presented, but I have to admit to not recalling the specifics. Is there anything you can offer, John?
Sure. The discussion for that previous project was a concern about the retail office uses on the bottom floor. So the council at that time for that smaller project included a requirement that a conditional use permit be obtained from the Planning Commission for any of the uses that were going to go into the bottom floor retail suites. So that would allow us to evaluate the parking needs of every business that would go in there and determine whether or not there would be sufficient parking. That requirement's also been included in this ordinance for this larger project. There are 67 parking places that are proposed. Given that this is an assisted living facility, the vast majority of people living there will not have cars.
I recall that. That's
Yep.
one of the things I recall, yeah.
Right. And then there's 20 employees, and again, 67 parking places. So the environmental assessment determined that that would be more than sufficient parking.
Wasn't there something, once you said that about assisted living, I remember that there was a discussion because there was like, could they have somebody live with them that was able to drive? I kind of remember that discussion, and that them placing some kind of condition on the manager about who could live there.
Yes,
yeah.
I do recall that also, and that would also be included with this project, that these units would only be available to the resident.
Right. And is that a condition we put on it? Because I remember a lengthy discussion about that. Well, could they have somebody live with them that might have a car?
Right.
And that, so we made that part of the condition that they
The-
can't have somebody live with them?
It would be part of the development agreement that we will bring back to you for the $2 million. So that would be included within the development agreement.
And the key is, John, correct me if I'm wrong, whenever the commercial uses come up, as Mr. Carver mentioned, for review, it would be a conditional use permit process, which will go before the Planning Commission, as he said, and the neighborhood would get noticed.
That's correct.
About that.
Right.
So, ma'am, you will receive a notice whenever there is an application for a commercial use to go in on the bottom floor.
Anyone else have any comments?
I move we close public hearing.
Now we'll open the public hearing for this item. Are there
Oh,
any?
that was our speaker. Sorry about that, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Are there any comments in favor? Heidi?
There have been no comments submitted in favor, Madam Mayor,
Thank you. Are there any comments in opposition, ma'am?
and none have been submitted in opposition either, just the
Okay.
one public comment this evening.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Now I'll move to close public hearing, Madam Mayor.
Second.
May I have roll call, please?
Councilmember Delgadillo?
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos?
I'm sorry.
We're closing the public hearing.
Oh, yes, please.
Vice Mayor Aguayo,
Yes.
Mayor Quer-Stallings.
Yes.
The motion.
Okay.
And on the item, I would move that we appropriate an additional $300,000.
Councilmember Lemons, I'm so sorry. That's why I was talking to City Manager. I just want to understand Section 6. John, can we look at Section 6 really quick? It says the residents of the 53 assisted living units are prohibited from parking a vehicle at the facility or on the public right-of-way. Can you just explain that to me before I go to my vote on this, please?
Sure. So that, did you need a better explanation on
Well,
that?
I mean, the way I'm reading it is it says that the assisted living units are prohibited from parking a vehicle at the facility or on the public right-of-way. So,
Correct. So that, that's right. That is within the ordinance. That was part of that smaller project also. So it's part of the zoning that if you are in an assisted living unit, you cannot park a car there on the site itself or on the public right-of-way.
so where are they going to park?
They don't have cars, so they
Oh, well,
won't be
then
permitted.
What if they have?
And I guess
A driver?
I remember we went in depth
About the
on
guests.
that.
We
because
did.
That was one of our biggest concerns.
Right.
Was parking impact. So we looked at all the possible ways we could control that.
Right. So it's part of the ordinance, and it will also be part of the development agreement, which we'll come back to.
And the parking will include some guest parking, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's-
most
it would.
definitely.
So if they do receive, if they do have a guest, they could,
Got it,
yeah,
yeah.
visitor.
Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I just wanted to be clear.
Okay.
So I'll move the item.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please. Heidi.
That was the motion to approve the appropriation of funds.
SOS.
We have
Okay,
Councilmember.
now we have four
Well,
separate.
I'll do the
actions.
roll call. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And this was number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was for
Actually, it's
item
number
B. Yeah.
1.
Okay.
Okay.
Councilmember Delgadillo,
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons,
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo.
Yes.
Mayor Quer-Stallings.
Yes. Next, there's a motion to adopt.
Madam Mayor, I
Mitigation negative-
move item F, adopt
Item
mitigation negative declaration.
I'm sorry, I did not hear the second.
Second, please.
Second.
Heidi, may I have roll call, please?
Councilmember Delgadillo,
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons.
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo.
Yes.
Mayor Quer-Stallings.
Yes. Next, there's a motion.
I make a motion to read by title only and adopt resolution number 23001.
I second.
Heidi, roll call, please.
Councilmember Delgadillo.
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons.
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo.
Yes.
Mayor Quer-Stallings.
Yes. And last, there's a motion to introduce ordinance 1167.
So moved. Second, Lemons.
May I have roll call, please, Heidi?
Councilmember Delgadillo.
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons. Councilmember Olmos.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo.
Yes.
Mayor Quer-Stallings.
Yes. We'll move on to item 18. Next is a report on residential and commercial beautification program. John, may I have a report, please?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may, Madam Mayor. The next item was a request from a couple of council members, and that was to bring back our former home beautification program. Although this program slowly faded away some time ago due to a lack of community interest, we have some fresh ideas to pump life back into it. And if the council likes what they hear, we can appropriate funds in the mid-year budget to get this program up and running for this spring. So with that, I'll turn it over to our Assistant City Manager, Mr. Andrew Villalpando, who will handle the item. Andrew?
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Good evening, Mayor, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. It's my pleasure to bring this program before you again to talk about its background and potential next steps. But I'll just go ahead and start just a little bit on the background and its impact on our beautification efforts here in the city of Paramount. As you know, Paramount's a beautiful, diverse, burgeoning community that's comprised of single-family homes, multifamily units, dwellings, and commercial properties. Over the years, which spans about 30, we've made a very committed and earnest effort to try to beautify our community and really get residents to embrace our efforts. In 2001, building on those efforts, we introduced a program called Paramount Pride, which was a home beautification program that incentivized residents to both nominate their neighbors or themselves to showcase their properties and the beautiful improvements that they've made to them. This evening, I'll provide to you just a brief update or background on that particular program and some next steps of what we're going to recommend. So just a little bit of the history of Paramount Pride. As I mentioned, over the last 30 to 40 years, we've made significant strides in the beautification efforts here in the city. By the 2000s, we had fully reinvented ourselves, boasting lush greenery, landscapes, and a local thriving economy. This transformation was embraced by residents, and they showcased it in their applications for showing off their homes. Paramount Pride, as I mentioned, we started this in early 2001 and went for 16 years. Over time, it slowly started to diminish in interest, and I'll get to that in a moment. But essentially, the program was, the framework of it was that every spring, residents were given the opportunity to nominate themselves or a neighbor for whose property exemplified the beauty standards that we had here in Paramount that we had created. A panel of judges made up of landscape architects and local real estate agents selected between 10 to 20 of the most attractive homes in the city, as well as commercial properties. Winners were recognized with the lawn sign, a gift card to Home Depot, and a framed photo of their property. The program was active until about 2017, but this is a pretty important part of this. Unfortunately, we just had significant drop in interest. To the point that actually we started receiving 0 applications from the community, and most of it ended up just being self-initiated from staff. So we would actually go out in vehicles, select houses, and try to keep the program going. So just by natural attrition, it just kind of went away. As John mentioned a little earlier, some of the city council members asked that we take a look into revitalizing the program. In doing so, part of our analysis included surveying some of our neighboring cities. As you can see here, we surveyed the cities of Lakewood, Downey, and Santa Fe Springs. You'll notice if you just kind of look at the bullet points here, the city of Lakewood offers the most robust program, recognizing the largest number of winners and offering the opportunity to earn a generous recognitions package. Lakewood also has a very informative way that they promote and advertise their program online and offer their residents an online submission. Downey and Santa Fe Springs have similar programs. Many of their similarities actually reflect kind of what Paramount Pride used to be. Unfortunately, they're also experiencing a decline in interest, but the city of Downey expressed to staff that they're taking some steps to try to also refresh their program. And this is just explaining the different findings from the previous slide. So if the city council is interested in reactivating the program, staff did come up with some recommended next steps. The next couple of slides will go over these steps. But first and foremost, we feel that we wanted to give it a refresh name, and staff had come up with Picturesque Paramount. We feel that this would help reintroduce the program to its residents and reinforce our main objective, which is keeping our Paramount neighborhoods beautiful, clean, and sustainable. We also would recommend offering a more convenient submission process, much like our neighboring cities, where that can be done online. And it's just more accessible and convenient for residents in general. And the next slide, I'll talk about some generous gift packages and award categories that we would recommend introducing. So we would roll out 5 new categories: 1 Picturesque Home Award, Model Multi-Unit Award, Beautiful Business Award, WaterWise Award, and Outstanding Landscape Award. We would limit the awards to 5 winners in each category. As far as the awards package goes, we feel that the community and both the business and residential community really look at our special events as a marquee type of involvement in the community, and we think that rewarding winners with that sort of package would be very incentivizing for a lot of residents and commercial business owners. So among the awards package, we would recommend offering VIP access for the winner and one of their guests to our Heritage Festival. We would promote their exemplary residence or commercial property with the lawn sign, a certificate of recognition at a city council meeting, a photo mention in print and social media, a $250 gift card to Home Depot, and a special invitation to an event at the Paramount Pool for a winner and one guest. Overall, with regard to the fiscal impact, really all this would consume was the marketing, promotions, and awards for the program. So we don't really think it would exceed about $10,000. But if approved this evening, we would make sure to add that to our mid-year budget when it comes for review next month. But with that, it's recommended that the City Council review and discuss the report and provide staff with any input or direction. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Do my colleagues have any comments or questions regarding this?
I have some comments before you. Oh.
And I do too. You can go first, Peggy. It's okay.
So I was around when this program was started. I was around when it was revamped, and I saw it go. So I think it's a good thing because it encourages people, but I think some things that we have to watch out for, because I think you have some ideas here that will really perk it up. I think submitting online would make it a lot easier. When we revamped it the second time, that's one of the things that we did was change the submission process and made it much easier. Before that, we couldn't get anything. And I think upping the package to where it's worth it. A couple of things that I'm opposed to that I want to stay away from, hopefully in this program, is one, we did do away with last time, so I don't want to go back into it. We put a date on the signs because people were keeping the sign up for 20 years when they won 20 years ago. So you would have this property that shouldn't really be a winner anymore, but they kept the sign up. So I think it's important to keep the year that they win on it. And secondly, I think we should limit how many that they can apply, because one of the things that we ran into too is like for 10 years in a row, the same person, the same 10 houses would win the award all 10 years. And although we appreciate them keeping it up, it kind of then, loses its value, I think, if it's the same 20 houses, everything. So maybe you can apply once every 3 years or something like that, but it's just something to keep it special again, because I think that's part of the problem. It's not special enough the way we're doing it. And I remember before when we talked about criteria with staff and judging, they were kind of going on because of the lack of participation. Almost anyone who applied got the award. And I think we need to stay away from that. I think we have to set the level high so that it's special or it's meaningless. And I'm not in favor of the same 10 houses getting the award every year and keeping a date on it. And I'd like to do more discussion on the awards package, because I think there's some more exciting things that we could throw in there that are meaningful to the residents. And I hate the name.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I could second that motion with a name.
And what I'd like to say is, I won a home beautification award when I lived at Fort MacArthur in San Pedro. I won, and they called it in the military Yard of the Quarter. And I was so shocked and excited that I was given a plaque with my picture on it, and the commander alongside shaking hands with the commander. So I'd like to share with you, the plaque, and maybe it might be an incentive too of something that the residents can put on their wall, something, a little something memento. But I supported this home beautification. I think it's going to be fun. We just have to put some enthusiasm in it. And really, Peggy, like you said, add some more goodies, some more incentives. Maybe a Paramount Pride T-shirt, something, just to make it move along.
With suggestions.
Yeah, we could do that.
Help you. 4 or 5 things, and then we can pick the best ones that we think people would be excited.
Yeah, it's exciting when you win. And I have a green thumb, so I was really excited about that.
I've never applied. Look
I
at
al-
green lawn.
I also have a question, Andrew. Is it going to be staff, or is it going to be someone else judging the homes and the businesses, sir?
Yeah, based on the experience from the last go around, we would really try to avoid having staff be involved in the judging. We would probably reach out to our commissioners and local stakeholders to have more of involvement in that part of the process, just for perception, optics, and equitable purposes.
And organizations also, maybe? Like
Absolutely.
Calusa Moms and them.
Anyone that would be interested.
Women's Club. Okay.
In the past, we had judges that included landscape architects.
I started to say, like,
so,
our
yeah,
landscapers,
people in the profession that
In the
kind of
profession,
know
yes.
that.
We could do an across-the-board panel, like 5 people from different segments, a landscaper, a resident, a service club.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I think it includes a little more incentives would be wonderful.
Put 'em in the parade.
Maybe having just a special dinner with
With the mayor.
With the mayor.
with the mayor. Yeah. Well,
So I'm going to date myself a little bit because we received one when I was 7 years old, and it was called the Home Beautification Award Program, and we got a shield. It was like a big shield.
yes.
And we placed it in
That's
our
true.
window, and it had the year on it
Yes.
that way, but it was like a beige shield, and I was 7. And I remember the newspaper came out and took a picture of us. We didn't go to a council meeting, but we got to do that. So I just, it was a Raider shield. Yeah, it was a shield.
It was like a gold medal.
It was like a
Yes, it
shield. I
was.
just remember this big shield.
Well, that's what I said, though. My neighbor won one too across the street, but he had it up for 10 years. And I was like, dude, you won that 10 years ago. Although his house stayed beautiful, I just thought,
But it's true what Peggy's saying. My neighbor did that for years, just left it up there and thought he was the best gardener in the neighborhood. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
So we have direction. We have
Yes.
some suggestions, and we look forward to this suggestions you all can submit to us, and we'll put that in the package. We'll bring this back to you at the next meeting because that's when we plan to present the mid-year budget. So we'll have the item budgeted in there as well as a brief description of some ideas with a new name. It sounds like.
I think picturesque, first of all, it's kind of hard to say. I don't know that everybody's going to get the meaning of it. I get it goes picturesque paramount, the PP thing, but I don't think it's descriptive enough and it's a little complicated.
I
Everybody
agree.
agrees?
I agree.
I agree.
All right.
You got to.
Smiling like that. Yeah, you hate the,
Andrew's
what
like,
is it, hate the mouse?
We'll talk offline about that.
John, do I put this into motion or can you give me some directions, sir?
No, this is just would be our
re-
a receive and file
Right.
report.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll move on. We have an award of contract from the Adopt Highway Service. John, may we have the report, please, sir?
Yes, Madam Mayor. For the next item, we're seeking your approval on something that we've been working on for several years. This is the cleanliness of the freeway on and off ramps that border our fine city. Although this is primarily the responsibility of the state, that is Caltrans, to do this, we seldom see these areas clean to our standard, and that's putting it very mildly. So in order to keep these areas clean, we're seeking your approval on a contract to pick up the litter in these areas through the Adopt a Highway program. And here is our Assistant Public Works Director, Ms. Sarah Ho, to tell you more about the program, the contract cost, the locations, and much, much more. Sarah.
All right, thank you, John. Madam Mayor, members of council, the item that I have before you this evening is an award of contract for the Adopt a Highway service. As John mentioned, the Caltrans Adopt a Highway program, it exists as an opportunity for organizations, either public or private, to enhance cleanup frequencies at certain approved on-ramps or off-ramps on California highways. While Caltrans does own and operate these areas, as we all know, the trash can accumulate more quickly than Caltrans can provide services to remove it. So staff has met with Caltrans to discuss the opportunities to begin this program at 3 major freeways, the 710, 91, and 105, or more specifically, Somerset Ranch Road. Caltrans has agreed with that, so staff began the bid process to find a vendor to process all the applications and paperwork with Caltrans to begin the Adopt a Highway program, as well as to complete the cleanups on a monthly basis on behalf of the city of Paramount. I would like to take the opportunity to show you some maps of the exact locations so you guys have a really good idea of where this is occurring at, and that we're allowed by Caltrans. Each of these slides is going to show you an overview on the left-hand side and then a close-up with the specified area highlighted in yellow on the right side. So here we have the northbound 710 freeway Alondra entrance at 2 times a month cleaning. Here is the northbound 710 Alondra Boulevard exit, also at 2 times a month. The northbound 710 freeway Rosecrans Avenue entrance, also 2 times a month. And here is the exit at Rosecrans, also 2 times a month. Westbound 91 freeway at the Downey Avenue exit, you guessed it, 2 times a month. And same over here, westbound 91 Paramount Boulevard exit at 2 times a month. And the 105 freeway, Somerset Ranch Road, as you know, is a really long span. So I've got 2 slides here for you to show you both Somerset Ranch Road North on the north side of that street, and then Somerset Ranch Road South on the south side of that street. This one shows you Garfield to the overpass, and then this one will show you the overpass all the way to Paramount Boulevard. Now, Caltrans will only allow 1 time a month cleaning at this location currently, due to some concerns over the need for a full lane closure to be able to do this safely. Now, I know that council has expressed their intent to increase this, and we are working on options here, but for this particular contract that's in front of you today, it's only going to include that 1 time a month. All right, to go over the bid opening and results, we opened the bids on January 12th, 2023. 2 bids were received. Adopta Highway Maintenance Corporation is the low bidder at $2,930 a month, which translates to $35,160 per year. Bids range from that $2,930 to $3,700 per month. The service agreement is just to cover a period of 2 years, and then there will be options to extend it administratively. And then, of course, we'll do a marketing campaign to kick off this getting started in coordination with our Pick It Up Paramount campaign. With that, it is recommended that council do 2 things. Let's appropriate the additional funding from the $15,000 from the available general fund balance. You'll notice it's $15,000. That's simply for us to finish out the remainder of this fiscal year, and then it will be budgeted in its full amount at the FY24 process. And then the second recommendation here is to award the contract for Adopta Highway Services to Adopta Highway Maintenance Corporation in Costa Mesa. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Do my colleagues have any comments or questions?
I have a question. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have a recap because I must have misread something. And unfortunately, going back here, I didn't want to dig through my purse for my glasses. So this contract would cover which freeways and how many cleanups?
So, okay, let's go back. We've got 710 freeway. We're doing Alondra Boulevard exit entrance, Rosecrans exit entrance. So that's all the 710. The 91 freeway is the 2 exits, Downey and Paramount. And then Somerset, okay, those are all the ones that are 2 times a month. And then the only one that's 1 time a month is both of the Somerset Ranch roads.
And why is that once a month?
Because of Caltrans' concerns about road closures. We would have to do a full lane closure when they come in and do this. And they had concerns about that happening more than 1 time a month due to financial concerns.
Okay, because 1 time a month isn't going to cut it.
We agree.
We agree.
And that's
I
when,
thought you had said, maybe that's where my confusion's coming, because you said there was an alternative.
right. Well, when we were in Sacramento, we asked both of our legislators that we met with, Speaker Anthony Rendon and Senator Lena Gonzalez, to assist Caltrans with resources or funding, whatever it would take to up that to 2 times a month. It's basically because of the slope. It's so steep that they're required to close one of the lanes so the workers can actually get up there and grab the trash and litter. But Caltrans says we can only afford to do a once a month a lane closure because it takes all day or whatever. We don't have resources.
The legislatures.
The council can answer that. They were pretty encouraged by they think they can help us. So
They thought they would help us.
Okay, so.
but it's going to take time to work through that, system as it does with any state agency. So as of right now, we have the authorization from Caltrans to clean it once a month.
Once a month now, and so why are we paying funds for anything else? They already do it once a month, and it's not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes no sense to me.
Are they here once a month? Because it
They're here
seems
about
like
one,
it's
no, they're about once a
longer
month
than that.
on a complaint basis.
Yeah.
And so they're coming out about once a month, and it's not. It doesn't touch it.
No.
It doesn't.
It gets
touch
bad again,
And the
yeah.
other part of that question was, it says litter pickup, but a lot of what's at the 105 on those roads is couches, tires, stuff like that. Are they going to pick that up? Or are
Sarah,
they
does
just
that
picking
include
up
that?
Yes.
Trash.
No, it's not just trash. It's also
they're
large
gonna-
items
yeah,
as well.
They're going to
Yes.
clean it all up.
Mhm.
So I think, I mean, I don't want to hold it up,
Mhm.
but
Right.
I think that we need to ask for their their reports. How often have you been out there? What's your schedule like already? How many times have you come out? And then say to them, why are we paying for once a month when you already come out once a month?
Yeah.
You know, shouldn't our money be that additional time a month that you come out?
Sure. It'd be interesting to see if they actually do come out once a month to clean it. So.
I know that I would guess that at least over the last year, because I am constantly on the phone to Adriana, because you guys, I drive that almost every single day, and I drive by, because you guys know I don't get on the freeways, but I drive by the 91 a lot and see those off ramps, not so much the 710. But this is an absolute garbage dump. I mean, there are sometimes the litter is like 2 inches thick. It's just amazing. And I don't know why it's so bad there, but it is horrible. It is just horrible.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we can contact Caltrans to see how often, if they would allow us to check their logs. But the main thing that we're going to push for, and we are going to send a follow-up letter to Speaker Anthony Rendon and Senator Gonzalez on behalf of the mayor, reiterating our concern that we need help with that. Please give Caltrans the resources to do that.
You know, it's more a part of people's neighborhoods too. They have to drive down those frontage roads to get there, and it cuts right through neighborhoods.
Yes.
So it's, you
Absolutely.
just get in garbage alley every time you get on it. They really are shameful.
And the speaker remembered because he picked up trash with us that
Yes,
day, and
he
he
did.
was
That day,
like,
yeah,
there
right.
was a lot of trash. So, I mean, he's aware that 105 is.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Madam Mayor, I have one question too.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
you guys, I know we're pulling this from the general fund. Are there any grants out there to help with this type of payment? Maybe like a environmental, green, I don't know, just throwing out some.
We're not aware of any.
Okay.
The ones that we are aware of, this is not a category that would fall under it, but it won't stop us from looking for that in the future. We can definitely continue to do that.
I make a motion, Madam Mayor, if there's no more
Okay,
questions.
may I have a second, please?
Second?
Heidi, may I have roll call, please?
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo?
Yes.
Mayor Quer Stallings?
Yes. Next is the award of contract for home improvement services at 15118 Vallado Avenue. John, may I have the report, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, sticking with the theme of beautifying our city, we have a new project through our decades-long residential rehabilitation program. The program, as you may recall, helps those who cannot afford to make critical and very noticeable home improvements. Over the years, the program has been very successful and has been one of the tools that we've used to turn around the look of our city. So with us is our planner, Mr. Ivan Reyes, to tell you about the costs, the types of repairs, and the location.
All right, thank you,
Ivan,
John.
take it.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. This is an award of contract for a home improvement project. The project is located at 15118 Bellota Avenue. Through this program, single-family owner-occupied homes are eligible for rehabilitation. The property owner must have a low to moderate income, and we funded this program through federal home monies. The city provides grants equal to 80% or 90% of the cost, depending on the income. So the homeowner solicited 3 construction bids from a city-approved bid package. VV&G was selected as the lowest qualified bidder. They are a longstanding contractor in Paramount and has maintained an active B general contract building contractor license since 2012. Some of the work that will be completed includes a new water heater, apply new exterior stucco color coat, and install new windows. So here's a view of the existing conditions of the house. On the left-hand side, you have the water heater. On the right-hand side, you have some of the windows that will all be replaced. And with that, it is recommended that the City Council award the contract for construction services to VV&G in the total amount of $28,930 from federal home funds for the home improvement program at 15118 Bellota Avenue. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do my colleagues have any comments or questions, please?
This is, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, may I?
Yes, of
This
course.
is like the residential rehab program, and is the reason that it's coming before us like this because they didn't used to is because of the funding source?
I believe they've always come to us, right, John? Before council?
Yes, they've been coming for the council for quite a few years. It's an award of contract. That's why we need to bring it to you.
Maybe it was just not so much of an in-depth presentation, because, yeah.
Could be.
Because I know several people who've got them and been sitting here, and we never went through everything.
You're right. For years, we did not bring the contracts to you. However, our consultant has recommended over the last year or two
I was
that.
just wondering if it was happening now because there was a change in the funding source. So it's still the same funding source?
Yes,
Okay.
it's through the, federal home. Or did it used to be CDBG, or is it always?
No, it was
been
always
federal
home funds.
It's always home funds, okay.
Is there a motion for this item, please?
So moved.
Second. Second, please. Okay, Heidi, may I have roll call, please?
Councilmember Delgadillo?
Yes.
Councilmember Lemmons?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo?
Yes.
Mayor Quer Stallings?
Yes. Our next item is a request for a limited time parking zone at 7116 Marcel Street. John, may I have the report, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, this will be handled by our Assistant Public Works Director, Ms. Sarah Ho. Sarah?
Thank you, John. Madam Mayor, members of council, the item that we have before you is a request to install a limited time parking zone over at 7116 Marcel Street. Since it's been a while since we've had a green curb come to you guys, we wanted to take a step back and go over the background and the criteria that we have set. All traffic safety requests are reviewed by staff and our traffic engineer. These requests have to meet a set of criteria specific to the requested item. In this particular case, the criteria for the installation of a limited time parking zone or green curb is as follows. You must be a business where customer or visitor turnover is frequent. You must have no alternate on-site parking available. And the duration of time is considered based on the business need. The options are generally 20 minutes or 2 hours. Once the criteria is met, notifications are sent to the residents or businesses in the area, letting them know that first the Public Works Commission will consider the item at their next meeting with details on how to attend. Once the Public Works Commission reviews the item, they then make a recommendation to the City Council. And once again, before the City Council reviews the item, another round of notifications will be sent to the neighborhood. With that, we've received a request to install a limited time parking zone with the appropriate signage in front of the business that's located at 7116 Marcel Street. This is on the south side of Marcel Street, west of Gundry Avenue. Attached for you is the application from the property owner requesting that a limited time parking zone be installed at this location. The area that's surrounding 7116 Marcel Street generates a great deal of demand for on-street parking from patrons and employees of the many businesses that are located in this area. The business has frequent visitors that turn over regularly, and as a result, on-street parking is limited for the patrons of the business. Additionally, there's no available off-site parking lot for patrons to access for parking. If approved, approximately 15 feet of the curb would be painted green, with signage posted indicating that this area would be a 20-minute parking zone. At its meeting on January 5th, the Public Works Commission recommended approval of this request. And with that, it's recommended that the City Council approve the installation of a limited-time parking zone in front of 7116 Marcel Street. That concludes my report, unless you have any questions for me.
Do my colleagues have any questions or comments?
One quick question, Madam Mayor. What type of business is it?
It is Inkhead Prints. They are a company that does designs, T-shirts, other items that you give out. So they're, people are coming to pick up the product that they've done for them.
If the 20-minute turnaround was going to work in the outfit.
It was, they had stated that it was enough for them. Yeah.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Heidi, may I have roll call, please?
Councilmember Delgadillo?
Yes.
Councilmember Lemmons?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo?
Yes.
Mayor Quer Stallings?
Yes. Next, we have the award of contract for the City Hall Furniture Replacement Project. John, may I have a report, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, this is a long time coming, as some of our desk and office equipment are showing their age, having been purchased over 25 years ago. Many of these desks are not space efficient for our tiny City Hall office space, and the new office furniture that we are proposing to purchase takes into account more modern standards like ADA laws and ergonomic design. So with that, I'll turn it over to our Assistant City Manager, Mr. Andrew Villalpando, who will walk you through the item. Andrew?
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Good evening again, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Paramount City Hall is the city's main government facility for its residents, providing an array of municipal services. This building houses 4 of our 7 city's departments with over 40 employees. City Hall has grown over the decades, as you know, both in its physical exterior footprint as well as internally. The city's municipal services have grown over time to the point that Even our workstations and the essential duties that we need to perform at them have just been inadequate. When new office space is needed, layouts are redesigned by installing non-load-bearing walls to create new offices, and workspaces are commonly altered to fit into tight spaces. It has been the city's practice in the past to purchase or replace broken workstation items such as desks and chairs on a case-by-case basis without really any uniformity in standards. This has resulted in outfitting our facilities with sometimes bulky, mismatched, underperforming equipment. This puts us at risk of potentially positioning office equipment that falls short of federal and state American Disability Act or ADA compliance. And to, quite frankly, just to provide a work environment for our employees that is suitable and more efficient and effective to perform their day-to-day activities and duties, we recommended taking an analysis of our current needs and coming up with a plan to remedy the situation. So as I mentioned, as part of our assessment back in July 2021, we commissioned a comprehensive analysis of our City Hall office furniture and our file storage needs. The resulting furniture replacement and maintenance assessment provided staff with recommendations for upgraded office furniture with redesigned workspace layouts that were compliant with ADA state codes as well as ergonomic standards. The assessment encompasses all of City Hall with the exception of the planning department. And the reason for that is because we are going to be engaging with a firm to take a look more comprehensively at our east wing of City Hall to redesign for business needs for customers and contractors that come and visit our building safety and planning department. Importantly, and as you know, the City of Paramount is a member of the California Joint Insurance Powers Authority. They provide strategic oversight of all of our risk mitigation management program here in the city. And as a member, the city is committed to not only the best risk management practices, including policy implementation and operational guidance, but we aim to mitigate our risk to operate a safe workplace environment as well as remain fiscally strong. CJPIA for years has advised its more than 100 members now that we need to prioritize and mitigate workspaces so that we reduce our risk for workers' comp claims due to ergonomic and ADA purposes. So upgrading the City Hall furniture is in alignment with this best practice and JPIA's guidance, and as we continue to mitigate our risk with regard to that. So let's jump into some photos. These are some current workspaces, if you'd call them, in our City Hall. This is our front customer service area, and you'll see that there's hardly any space to move around for the employee, and the storage needs, of course. This is another area of our City Hall that was also as part of the plan. And again, you can see the bulky, outdated workspaces that don't always meet ergonomic standards. So PeopleSpace submitted a proposal to us. This is the firm that conducted the assessment. Based on the recommendations of their analysis, they proposed to the city some upgraded tables, chairs, shelves, desks, and other workstations that are ADA and ergonomic compliant. The proposal by PeopleSpace includes a variety of sit-stand tables, nearly 30 workstations, and dozens of different individual items to help make our workspaces more efficient and manageable. All of the furniture has been selected to complement the planned programming for the facility and can be moved and rearranged depending on specific need. Importantly here, PeopleSpace is part of a large regional cooperative purchasing agreement. As you'll see in the staff report, our purchasing ordinance allows the city to award a contract under a cooperative purchase agreement so long as the agencies agree to allow the city to participate. These are just some renderings of the different plans. On the left, you'll see the workspace configurations. In the more comprehensive plan, they actually have measurements to denote that they are ADA compliant with space and movement. And the workspaces themselves are all sit-stand, and they all come with upgraded storage and file capabilities. This is a rendering of another version of the plan. and this is one of the offices, one of the office configurations. So this is the slide that talks about cost and funding and how we get here. Staff is recommending that the City Council award a contract under a cooperative purchasing agreement to People Space for the purchase of our office furniture. This is related to capital improvement project number 9382, called the City Hall Office Furniture Upgrade and Replacement Project. The contract will include the cost for the purchase and installation of furniture at prevailing wage at $228,273. The contract also includes a 10% contingency that we're building in for unexpected costs in the amount of $22,827 and $15,963 for the uninstallation, removal, and transportation of all of the old furniture to another location here on city property. So the total contract amount not to exceed $266,963. To complete the full scope of the ADA and ergonomic upgrade, we are also recommending that an additional $80,000 be appropriated to purchase approximately 120 ergonomic chairs citywide. So this is all facilities. Funding of $100,000 was already included in this year's FY23 adopted budget. However, $50,000 of that 100 had been repurposed for both the study and other related City Hall design and architectural services. So, if approved this evening, the FY23 adopted budget would need to be amended in the amount of $296,963 to cover the additional appropriated costs. This amount would all be appropriated in the Equipment Replacement Fund, which currently has a balance of just over $3 million. So with that, it's recommended that the City Council award the contract to People Space in the amount of $296,939. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Do my colleagues have any comments or questions?
No time.
I just have one question, which is about the old furniture. Do we have to, like, I don't guess it's have to, can we offer it to people who might need it in the community? Like, I know, for instance, some of the stuff we have may be really bad for us, but I'm thinking off the top of my head, I know the executive director's office at the Chamber of Commerce hasn't had new furniture in over 50 years. And I recently, on our tour, we went to Pathways and to, wasn't Sukasa, it was the other one, Little House. And their offices were in, some dilapidated stuff. Do we have an opportunity to give it to some nonprofits that could utilize it?
Go ahead.
Yes, Councilmember Lemons, the personal property such as the office furniture is not subject to the State Surplus Act of getting rid of city property. So we have a lot more leverage to do exactly what you're proposing. So with all that property, the former furniture, we can, obviously the city manager can be in charge of delegating how that's going to be disposed of to the various type of entities and nonprofits that you're talking about without really any limitation or restriction to it.
I would like to see us take advantage of that because, a lot of times, especially the nonprofits, I mean, the last thing that you can buy is furniture, and I don't want it to turn into too much of a hassle for you guys, but if we know which offices, like, look in here, everything in here goes, then they can say, we could take this, this, and this and mark it, and they know, well, you have to, be able to pick it up. And I know, like, for instance, I think especially with the Chamber and Pathways, they both have, business relationships that somebody will probably come pick it up for them. But I think it's a great opportunity to give, an upgrade while we're upgrading ourselves to people who don't have that opportunity.
A major component of the recommended actions we're requesting tonight is the uninstallation and removal of all the furniture, and part of that includes them inventorying all that furniture, which is a requirement as part of any property that's been purchased with public funds. The plan is to take it to our Public Works yard for storage, where typically with regular property, it would undergo just an auction of surplus property. At the advice of the city attorney, we can definitely take a look at what that final step will be. Maybe it's sharing that inventory with these nonprofits so that they can take a look to see what
so
their
they're
needs
not
are.
just going to take it anyway, because when it said,
No.
so we're going to do it and then probably auction it off.
or explore other options with
Yeah, because I
direct.
started to say, well, maybe we could do like, let our nonprofits take a tour of it first, then what's left auction off, you know? Because for some people, that's going to be a major upgrade.
That's great. That's a great idea.
Other than that, I'm great. I agree with you. I've walked through those offices, and I think that we definitely need to come into compliance from office to office. It's a different situation. I would love to see everybody on the same level.
I'll make a motion, Madam Mayor.
Can I have a second, please?
You got it.
And may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Delgadillo?
Yes.
Councilmember Lemmons?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo?
Yes.
Mayor Quer Stallings?
Yes. Our last item is new business, resolution 23002, approving the 2023 legislative platform. John, may we have a report, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, something we do every year. We update our legislative platform, which tells us which pieces of legislation that we could support and which ones we don't want to support. So with that, I'll turn it over to our Assistant City Manager, Mr. Andrew Villalpando again. Andrew?
Yes, good evening again, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Back in January 2021, we adopted the city's first legislative platform. This was a very promising document that it was what we like to refer to as sort of a living document that helps us prioritize and get our legislative platform, so to speak, on behalf of the city in order. It provides a framework for when we're taking action, or whether in opposition or support, on any piece of legislation. It's based on our city's vision, mission, values, and strategic outcomes, which the City Council adopted in 2019. The city's legislative platform will continue to serve as a valuable resource to enable Paramount's voice to be heard before legislators both in Sacramento and in Washington, D.C. And as of course, it provides the most effective way for us as staff to quickly and efficiently turn around letters of support or opposition on really important pieces of legislation while clearly capturing the collective input of the City Council. So just briefly on the process, each year this is the moment where we discuss the legislative platform and its and our recommended updates to it at a public meeting. If consensus is achieved on the dais, we'll adopt the legislative platform by resolution. And so that's the adoption of the legislative platform on an annual basis as we establish it in its original form. Once it's adopted, now we get into how we send letters off to Sacramento or Washington, D.C. So once the city receives a position request, we'll review it as staff and determine if it meets and aligns with the legislative platform. We'll meet on this periodically whenever we receive these requests. If it does meet the priorities established by the City Council, we'll draft a letter and send to the mayor for signature and approval. On a quarterly basis, we do share all of the legislative letters that we send to Sacramento and Washington, D.C. with the City Council by way of memorandum. This is just an overview of the statistics for 2022 when it came to our legislative platform review. We took positions on 20 legislative and regional initiatives. Here they're all listed. On the far right columns, you'll see what our position was, which aligned with the legislative platform, and what the ultimate decision was made by the state. These are our guiding principles, which generally don't change. These are kind of the purpose of what this platform and why it exists. Primarily, the council had adopted in 2021 these principles of preserving local control, promoting fiscal stability, promoting economic development, and advocating for funding opportunities. These are the areas of focus that have grown. I mentioned it being a living document. When we first adopted this legislative platform in its original version, it didn't have this many areas of focus, but we monitor pieces of legislation throughout the year. We monitor trends and what's going on a regional basis, and staff recommends different areas of focus that we think will be important for the upcoming year. And here I'll dive into the two new ones that we're proposing this evening. But before I do that, I wanted to just briefly talk about how we got to this process as staff when we look at the regional needs or trends. We consult with all of the city departments on issues that they may be experiencing. We also reach out to our California Contract Cities Association partners and those in the League of California Cities, or Cal Cities. We've also reviewed the Cal Cities strategic interests in the 2023 advocacy priorities. That's a document that they release each year. And we want to make sure that all of these different issues and initiatives align with the City Council's legislative priorities, goals, and objectives. I mentioned the 2 new areas of focus we're recommending this evening. The first is community preservation. Mainly, this is an effort for us to support efforts to maintain the aesthetic integrity of Paramount. As you know, earlier this year, middle of 2022, last year, we started a new division of community preservation in our public safety department, which is a reflection of the importance that we put on these issues in Paramount. For example, we work with our neighboring cities and partner agencies to make sure that they're accountable for their properties. We just spoke about the Caltrans item a moment ago and their rights of way, and we want to make it an effort to support pieces of legislation that hold those and encourage those agencies to be accountable and perform as we do here in Paramount. All of these things are in an effort to maintain our neighborhood beautification and preservation for property values, civic pride, and quality of life. Secondly, we want to support legislation that promotes civic engagement, responsible civic engagement, with an emphasis on interacting and communicating and engaging with the City Council. Advancements in technology and social media have made this much more readily available. We want to make sure that we support pieces of legislation that foster this in a reasonable and responsible way. And I think I accidentally did that. Let me get this back. Okay. So next steps would be for the City Council to review and discuss the proposed legislative platform this evening. If supportive or if no further input is received, we'll recommend that we adopt the 2023 legislative platform by resolution. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Colleagues have any questions or comments? No, ma'am. May I have a motion for this item, please?
So move, Lemons.
May I have a second, please?
Second, Aguayo.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Delgadillo?
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo?
Yes.
Mayor Quer-Stallings?
Yes. Now is the time for council member reports. We'll start with Councilmember Annette.
Madam Mayor, tonight is our first council meeting of the new year, and I would like to wish staff and our wonderful community a very happy new year. I attended the Paramount Chamber of Commerce networking event at LA Kings Iceland, and it was a joy meeting the members and new members of our Paramount business community. Also, Chamber Ambassadors Dora Sanchez and Father Luis Baez were recognized for their true dedication and support to new and existing businesses in Paramount. A job well done, and congratulations to them. And finally, my condolences go out to the neighboring community of Monterey Park. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember Olmos.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. All right, we'll make this quick. Some of the committee reports I'd like to report on. God, we've been busy. I feel like things are just hitting the floor running right now. Contract Cities, the executive team had the opportunity to meet with Sheriff Luna in Lakewood. He did a meet and greet with us on day 21 of him being in as his new role. I'm just saying, I think we look really forward to working with him. He had a lot of great suggestions and ideas. So we're just hoping that, he brings some of those best practices to our city as well. Let me see, where am I at? Cal Cities. We also started for Cal Cities. We had our first meeting, Public Safety Policy Committee, to start discussing policy and bills that we would like to present to our legislators, to look for authors. So I'm always looking to my council colleagues. If you guys are looking for any policy regarding to public safety, please share them with me. I'd be happy to take them to the committee. Some of the things that I attended was our Sacramento legislative tour with Contract Cities in January. We We actually had 15 legislators come and give us Capitol briefings within, I think, 2-hour time. It was a lot in 2-hour time. But a lot was done. Again, we had some great panels on public safety and homelessness. I attended the meeting with our new Congresswoman, Annette Barragan. I also attended the Contract Cities Board meeting with our Public Safety Department and our commissioners in Bellflower. Thanks you guys for attending. And I also attended my WELL, which is called WELL Water Education for Latino Leaders. It's a fellowship program that is 6 months long. And there's about 17 elected officials from California that come together. We'll be meeting each month in different areas, which is like Central Valley, Northern Valley. We were just in Coachella Valley, and we were able to visit Salton Sea and some Polanco Park. I'm not sure if anybody, it's like a area where there's some farm workers that work, that come together. And it was just really interesting to understand the inequality when it comes to water issues. And we were able to compare like our water systems between cities, kind of what we're doing, what they're doing, how much they purchase, how many water wells they have. So again, it's a 6-month process. I'll be reporting out each month, each area that I go to. We'll be hitting Northern California in February to understand the water issues that are happening up there. Finally, Paramount Historical Society membership meeting was last night. We had a really good attendance. We were able to put together 3 committees. So we have a chair for our parade, we have a chair for our fundraising, and we have a chair for our book and historical landmarks. So lots to happen in 2023 for the Historical Society. And one more thing, my last ask is for staff. John, with the big rains that were happening, a lot of residents were calling about the big trees that they have in front of their homes. Is there maybe a way that we could put on our Paramount app if they're concerned about their tree with the soil possibly falling on their homes, that we can have somebody go out and check it for some preventative measures? I know
For sure, that's something we can definitely do through our arborists. A matter of communicating, are you referring to like the Paramount Works app
Yes,
where they can submit it?
request to say, the tree looks, I know we're getting calls, but maybe just to give them an easier way to access us through the app. And I know people are starting to use it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Lemons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Today, I attended the homeless ad hoc meeting with Councilmember Olmos, and we had some Q&A and some presentations from Kingdom Causes, discussion in preparation for an action plan. And I think that they were really excited to hear about our new housing project there on Paramount Boulevard. They were especially kind in talking about what a great job our public safety department does, and they gave huge kudos to Steve for everything that he does with our homeless population, and reiterated how lucky we are to have him. And we informed them, and in case the public doesn't know, of the different homeless outreach efforts that are happening beyond what the city does. And one of them is that you have a homeless neighbor, you want to reach out and help, you can go to the same app that Councilmember Olmos was just talking about, the Paramount Works app, and you can download it for free. And so there's information on there too for if you have somebody who's homeless, who's in your community, how you go about reporting that and getting them help. I also attended the SIACA Animal Control meeting, and 2 items that I thought would be of public interest that they pointed out is you can go on the SIACA website, which is siaca.org, and on the homepage, if you click on looking for a lost pet, of course, you can go through their the pictures online of the pets that they have, but also you can print out for free a found pet sign. So if you have found an animal, you can print it out in Spanish or English. You type in the particulars, and you can even add a photo and everything so that you can post it out. So it's already set up for you, so you don't have to do all the graphics and stuff if you want to promote that you found a pet in your area. And then finally, 2023 is the year of the rabbit. So SIACA will be hosting some events showcasing the rabbits that they have for adoption at the center. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Vice Mayor. Mario?
We've been busy. We've been busy. I was at Eco Rapid last night, actually, and a couple of things that really came out of there was they are looking at their formula for the fees for each city. It's something that was brought up. And the other thing is they're trying to clean up their email list. There are people that no longer want to be on it. There's others that do. So for my colleagues, if any of you want to receive any of those updates, let me know and I'll have them just add you on that email. Not that we get no email, but so there's that. The other thing is I was also at Contract Cities, and it was intense just as far as the information. It was just one after the other, the legislators that came down. But it was really great to hear, when they were asked, what are your 3 priorities? To hear it from them. And it was in such the setting itself, it was just, not really scripted. It really, it was what was important to them. And hearing it that way, just, it put it into a lot of things into different perspectives. But that was really good. And council member, almost always after lunch is when they have it. But you know what? You always just, do such a phenomenal job when you're up there. I can't think of anybody else that they would have after that and keep people engaged, really. It just really, kudos to you. And then I was at the Clutter-Free Paramount. It was raining, lots of rain, right, Steve? But there was when over 200 cars came by. I saw it was I don't know how many tons of just stuff. But to see all of the volunteers, again, there was over 50 kids from JROTC in the rain, out there. Really working. There was students, from the diversion program there as well. Just really working hard. The churches. So it really was a great group of just volunteers that were out there. Again, in the rain, it was pouring. And they were out there, in a good mood, just really just that sense of community and doing something for their neighbors. It reflected through them, and you really felt it. So, Steve, you did it again. Thank you, to your team and getting all those volunteers and organized. It was really organized. I have people from other cities that were saying, my city doesn't do that, and I would tell them just the process itself. And they're like, wanting to come to Paramount. I'm like, well, this is a Paramount event. Talk to your council and see what they can do. But yeah, it really speaks volumes again about, just all the departments, our teams, and just our city. That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I attended Rex Richardson's swearing in for the city of Long Beach, and he had quite a bit of crowd. And I felt so honored to be there. And his family was there, and it was a very special occasion. And I attended a welcome with my colleagues to welcome our new Sheriff Luna in Lakewood. And it was a meet and greet, and he's a very gracious man. And he's really taking into consideration all our needs and how he can be helpful and how he can help us in any way. We had a breakfast with the Musa moms to give them an appreciation breakfast for all they do in our community. It was a very nice time to spend with them. And I also attended the decluttering and I got to meet the new club called the Key Winds Club. From the Kiwanis. I met their advisor. I met a couple of the parents, and they were excited to go and help clean up part of their community around the Paramount adult area and also our Paramount Park. And I attended the Contract Cities with my colleagues, and yes, as my colleagues mentioned, it was very informative. I attended briefly the neighborhood backyard meeting with our new Congresswoman, Barragan. And then I just returned Saturday. I was so honored to attend the 91st Winters United States Conference of Mayors in Washington, D.C. Oh my God, what an amazing experience to be able to collaborate and engage with other mayors from the United States and have the honor to visit the White House with all my colleagues that were present. It was very emotional to enter the White House, to see all the staff and military protecting our President of the United States and protecting the White House. I felt like a little girl in a brand new home. And I felt so honored because as my dad, as I had mentioned before, my dad was a World War II veteran, a very proud World War II veteran. And I could just see his smile gleaming down from heaven and looking at me. But anyway, I brought back new ideas, information to be very helpful to our residents in Paramount. I attended several meetings and workshops about mental health, economics, infrastructure, jobs, affordable housing, how to reduce the homelessness, and the epidemic on drugs in the neighborhoods, and lastly, clean energy. But you don't stop and realize, you think you're the only city that has problems. But even from the smallest little town that I met, a young man from Plains, New York or something, a small town, and meeting a mayor from Boston, Boston, the city of Boston, Massachusetts, and meeting the mayor from Northern California to Tracy. They have the same problems, same situations occurring in their city, and how we all work together. And I believe we're all compassionate mayors. We care about our residents, and we continue trying to move our city forward. Thank you, the City of Paramount residents, for giving me this opportunity. I will ever be so grateful. John, what is your report, sir?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I gave pretty much a full report at the beginning of the council meeting, but I do have one staff introduction. You may not know this, but Public Works, the industry of Public Works tends to be very male-dominated. But we are adding to the female domination of the Paramount management team in Public Works. Our newest employee, Miss Selena Sanchez. Selena, go ahead and stand up. Selena is a management analyst, our new management analyst in Public Works. Selena was born and raised in La Puente. She now resides in Pomona. She is a Cal Poly Pomona graduate with a BS degree in Business Administration, Management, and Human Resources. Her prior 4.5 years in the public sector, she worked with our friends at the South Coast Air Quality Management District. She is, I like this, she's a three-time winner of 3 years running in the most creative Halloween costume and most creative Christmas sweater contest, something I guess they had at AQMD. So Nikki, we're gonna have to start that here for our folks here. She's an avid gym goer, a lover of DIY creative projects, and a collector of Bob Ross memorabilia. And again, her primary role will be working on the sustainability program with Wendy Macias there, and Adriana Figueroa and Sarah Ho. Like I said, the female-dominated management of Public Works, so we're very proud of that. And she'll also be helping out with smaller capital improvement projects, report writing, and various state reporting requirements. So welcome, Selena. And that's it, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to the end of our meeting. Sadly, our local community and law enforcement community have suffered some tragic losses over the last few weeks. In recognition of those losses, I would like to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of the following individuals. First, in the memory of Shirley Cover, who passed away on December 15th, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Cover family and all who knew Shirley. She was truly remarkable. And next, in memory of Todd Hansen, who passed away unexpectedly on December 21st. Todd was the son of Tom and Vivian Hansen and was very active in the community and left behind countless family and friends. Our thoughts and prayers are with the entire Hansen family. And finally, we adjourn in memory of the two Riverside County Sheriff's deputies, Isaiah Cordova and Darlene, Mr. Calhoun, who tragically lost their lives in the line of duty on December 29th and January 13th, just 2 weeks apart. Our thoughts and prayers are with their families and the entire law enforcement community. And on that sad note, the city council meeting is adjourned to a city work council, to an let me start again. The city council meeting is adjourned to a city council workshop on Saturday, January 28th, 2023 at 8:30 in the morning. Next, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Successor Agency for the Paramount Redevelopment Agency. Heidi, may I have roll call of council members, please?
Councilmember Delgadillo.
Present.
Councilmember Lemons.
Here.
Councilmember Olmos.
Here.
Vice Mayor Aguayo.
Here.
Mayor Quer Stallings.
Here. Are there any public comments, Heidi?
No, ma'am.
May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
May I have roll call, Heidi?
Councilmember Delgadillo.
Yes.
Councilmember Lemons.
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Aguayo.
Yes.
Mayor Quer Stallings.
Yes. The Assessor Agency meeting is adjourned to a meeting on February 14th, 2023 at 6 o'clock. God bless. Good night, everyone.